games now. I was like, yo, Omori? But then Omori's like 20% off, and I'm like, Lamau. Yes. Ha 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 ha. Well, stream is up, I guess. I think? It's been like 6 days. Oh, wow. Damn. Damn. Alright. So I won't go super into it, but pretty much, we're in the middle of Mikhail's backstory because he cleared the all of Morgana's like life flashback shit where she like made him feel exactly what she did. So like all the injuries and shit that she spanned over like the 9 years in like so and so minutes or whatever. So he makes it to the top, and then he's like, I'm here for Giselle, and then Giselle's there, and he's like, oh shit, dude, you're okay, but she looks kind of like, at him, and he's like, oh no. And then, you remember how we had that, like, bit of the scene after, Mikhail disappeared where she found letters that he had sent out? Uh, she's like, I found your letters, Mikhail. And then he's like, oh no, no, not, don't say it. And then she's like, I can't believe you lied to me. And then it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, you're not even a man. And it turns out that the white-haired girl was Mikhail the whole time. Turns out that he's trans. Way back in when that wasn't the documented thing, and also evil, I guess, probably. Yeah. um. So we're currently in like the backstory. So it's Mikhail growing up with like in the Bollinger's estate with two older brothers. Um. Going off, he doesn't like to hang out with mom because mom's all like, "Yo, girl shit, don't look at that boy shit," and he's like, "Mom, I don't like this shit." Then they end up at a party where he gets overpowered. Yeah, I know that was actually me. Uh, when they end up at a party where younger brother friends are a bunch of like what's the word, artsy people. Well, I have to recap literally 2 hours that you missed. uh, you know how Mikhail was like, you know how Mikhail was like, I had a crush on my older brother's fiance. Yeah, we're at that point, where the rest of the family's discovering that like, oh shit, Michelle is kissing up on girls and being a weirdo, which is probably the point where he gets banished. Alright, Mikkel hears fiance chatting with oldest brother, which is weird because she should be chatting with her fiance, the younger brother. So she's like, well, he's like, why the fuck are you talking to my older brother about this and not your, like, betrothed? And then it's like, oh, I'm being betrayed by my family. Let's see. How am I gross? Amy. It's not real. It's all a bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amy's smiles, Didier's kindness, George's... What was that about my younger brother? Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the hell are they thinking? You wanna know who's really disgusting? God damn it. I will not cry. Can't let myself... Well, there... Girls cry. Only girls, not for me. Put down my lip and wrap myself in the sheets and press my hands over the ears. Squeezed my eyes as tight as they could manage. Tried to get away from things I had seen. Images of them embracing in the night. Trying to float back to the surface, but I shook my head, casting them off. Praying I wouldn't have nightmares, drifted to sleep. Next day I woke with a terrible fever. Hovered in a sweltering heat of wave of heat. Able to tell dream from reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of crackling noises. Sounds were coming from my inside the body. Thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. Never been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen ill like this either. Couldn't get out of bed. Voice was raspy like an old woman's. Generally afraid I would wither away and die. Where are my glasses? Mother called in doctor after doctor to see me. They all said it was just flu. Body pain was common for a fever. While there was a doctor in house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm. But once they were gone, anxiety came back, stayed with me day and night, even for going to sleep. Hand gripped mine and held me fast. She had her head bowed and prayed. Don't worry, it'll be alright, Michelle. God is watching over you. He will protect you. You are his child. You are his angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. Doctors say it's just the flu. Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vacantness in her voice. For so long she wanted a daughter and couldn't understand her fixation on it. You could see through her cloudy eyes I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing. How you feeling? Your mom's here, don't worry. Alright, no, it's not mom, it's mother. She's like, refer to me as a mother, smack. That was like an hour ago. The only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, mother's hand wrapped in mine. I had many dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier and I was George's. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her. You're disgusting. But with one word, the dreams were twisted into nightmares. Body torn into fleshy chunks and sunk into darkness. Several days later, my fever was gone like it had been never there. However, my voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from bed, the murderous pain in my joints came back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. My voice was unbelievably deep. And the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart, like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle, Michelle! Mother scrambled into my chamber as I remembered the time she had spent by my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother, what? What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? Oh, I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? Look at restrained fear came on Mom's face. Mother stepped towards me, placing a hand on my forehead. You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over. My joints. You're still sick, Michelle. Don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Back to bed. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. Nagging situation, nagging sense that something wasn't right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was that actually my voice now? And if it was I... Wait, was it? What was I turning into? My voice. Certainly not a girl's. Voice never went back to normal, though. Some mother ordered me to remain in my room. Hadn't recovered yet. As long as I was sick, couldn't be let out. Something felt wrong with her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. Had no way to know I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed to them, she claimed, so I had no choice but to do what she said. In time, Mother stopped visiting me, and only people I saw were servants, did their jobs, but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though, not Amy or Didier or Georges. Months passed, and 2 and 3, occasionally the pain in my joints would withdraw, at other times it would worsen. Whenever I would drift to sleep, I would hear my own joints creaking. I dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the breeze as she twirled the face, a smile on her face, and her breast exposed. Lewd. One day, around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped and made one request to them. Have a mirror be brought to my room. Well, he didn't acknowledge me the next day I had him a mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe would fit anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. Huh. Something resembling a mixture of a chuckle and sigh of pity slipped from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After 6 months, I could hardly recognize myself. Sticking my hand to the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked mother's curves, and my skin Amy's sheen. It's pale and haggard, but structurally it looked like my brother's. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. It's a full head taller than I had been 6 months ago. I felt oddly certain that I wasn't done growing yet. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name on the surface. Michel. Don't need the last two. Mikkel. Big plot twist. For the first time in life, I liked my name. Still don't think it's an angel's name suited me one bit, but it staggered me how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Am I pronouncing it wrong? Do I just know how to pronounce Mikkel and Michelle? Is it also Mikkel? I mean, like, is it because I know French pronunciation that it isn't pronounced the same? Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning from a girl's to a boy's name. This makes sense now. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feeling I had for Amy. The indecent dreams I'd been having. Laughing, ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. Laughed so hard at the sight of myself my stomach hurt. The first glimmer of light I'd seen in the locked room for a long time. This is what I was supposed to look like. My life was up. Until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel now. I was always a boy, had been. But I'd been told I was a girl and forced to act like one. Of course that wouldn't feel right. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in the house needed to know. Fueled by one's desire, I wrapped the sheet over my shoulders and threw open the door. Ah, well, this is how you get booted. It seemed ridiculously long. It seemed ridiculous how long I'd followed Mother's instruction and remained cooped in my room, and now I felt fantastic. There was truly God in heaven, then this change within me was his answer to my prayers. Manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed by him. Further I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. Midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the window, but now with piercing radiance illuminating out my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. Could hear my family gathered in the hall, everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about simple meals at church, but his pride came through the laughter. George's playfully bragged about his life at the royal court. Father seemed informed. Voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family. She gave vague, empty indication she was listening, though most stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for George as her beloved husband. Never mind the fact that she was sleeping with Didier. Yeah. Spicy. It was a facade. Mere shadow of a family. To say Michelle couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I'd gone anywhere. You just locked in my room. Hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michelle was actually your son. That was all there was to it. Huh? What? Everyone's gaze concentrated on me. Gave them all a quick glance, and then, with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father. But Michelle? Michelle? It's boys, Michelle. Wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother was pale. Father objected. Didier stared. Georges gaped, and Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl. What's going on? Someone tell me, what's the meaning of this? You were dressing your son like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, put my hands on him like that. You lied to me. I would have never agreed to it if I had known. No, you're wrong. Michelle's my daughter. Call that a girl? All these months I was worried because he said he was sick. But that was all a lie? You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him in his room? Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop, Dad. Don't look at me. Don't give me that look. Said you could tell what's going through my mind, didn't you? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. Have no interest in a whore like you. Got him. Why don't you go cry into Didier's arms? You... What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why, Didier? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain this for me? What had been once a nice family meal was utter chaos now. For the briefest moments I felt sorry for Georges, but that whisked away almost immediately. There was a crash on the table and dishes fell, shattered to the floor. Cursed! Chilling darkness oozed over her voice. She cursed. She was my daughter. I saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse has been placed on her. When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that she was the same woman who sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess. Deep creases covered her face. Restrain her! Throw her in a room and lock the door. She's a girl, she was a girl, I swear. Open your eyes. Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cries sent me into a frenzy. Ripped the sheets off my shoulder, throwing them to the floor. I am not a girl. And I shouted, Eek! Restrain her, please. Someone restrain her. Fear reigned in the great hall, but several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering shock that shocked you as much as anyone else's. Amy, you're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination. What? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking strength, that may have been. I had visible muscles. My chest was flat, and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep, and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be. What else could I be? So I was Amy looking at me like a strange creature. Chill ran down my spine. Suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being exposed. There's nothing there. Got nothing there. Nothing. I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I felt silent, at which point several servants burst in the great hall and restrained me. She's a girl, she's my daughter. Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. His mother wailed. She wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence, and Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. George was in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which when I realized I'd made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. I was once more caged in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded up so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. Received no visitors except servants, and again, none would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in and day out. Only time the routine changed was on occasion a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It's my mother's handwriting on parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. Had no choice but to respond. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy anymore. Constant sense of urgency in her letter, like she might fall apart, coming completely any second. And so I did as she said. Signed each letter as Michelle, a female name she bestowed on me at birth, which I despise, and every time I used the name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. Paper she expressed her concern for me, but that the concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took a quill, my hands trembled. Mother prayed daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What'd she mean by that? Why'd she look at me like that the way she did? How am I an abomination? Well, I don't understand. Someone, please tell me. Someone, please. I beg of you. Brought your supper. We'll be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. Be going then. Wait. What? Wait a moment. Yeah? What do you need, Michelle? Are you a man or a woman? Pardon? Which are you? I am exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I'm a man. Said, oh, I'll be going. Clothes off. What? Take your clothes off right now. Everything, even your underclothes. What? Surely you jest, Michelle. I'm very serious. What? I could not possibly. Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered you to take your clothes off. You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please. What are you? You're a servant of the Boiler estate. And what am I? I am a child of the Boiler family. Maybe locked up and imprisoned in my room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Michelle, I ordered you to take your clothes off. Well, not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth. Not knowing, I would have been better off in the dark. Face twisted in humiliation, the servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped like a rectangle, and at a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one... Oh, right, because she wouldn't have been taught about that, because... You know... Spiciness. Found the one crucial thing I didn't have that he did. Why? My lower body lacked the parts that made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Rochelle? So then I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like. I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It'd be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer. Before the young boiling your daughter. You still insist to call me a damned girl? Look at these shoulders, my chest, my voice. How could you possibly think that belongs to a girl? But how you appear doesn't... There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing before him. Those trembling eyes, and the thing dangling... The reality dangling there before me blew the lid off once more of everything I'd been holding back. Without that, you could be no different than me. What? Everything else is the same, so why? Why does it make such a difference? That you have one and I don't. Michelle? I am a man. I'm a man just like you. I'm no one's daughter. And if you insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like, oh. Don't do that. Without that, you're no different than me. Uh-oh. In a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge, and so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain. Please don't do this, Michelle. In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware what I was doing, just riding the current of my enrupturing emotions, swiped the knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it, I'll make you the same. Without it, you'll be just like me. Get off me, please. Someone help. I'll make you just like me. Get in here, summon anyone. Michelle? She was delirious. She's delirious. Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants, and the next thing I knew I was on the floor beneath them. There were many of them, if not more than when I had made a scene in the great hall. A dozen manservants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadow beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking at me with vacant eyes. Mother, why? Why do you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I always was. Tell me that I am. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother? After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped coming. Pushed and I shoved and pulled and pounded with all my strength, but the door wouldn't move. A day passed, and then another. With no food or water, I started to fear death was on me. Had no idea how miserable it had gotten. How miserable it was gonna go. It was to go with so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, and it felt like it was on fire, making it difficult to breathe. 2 days, 48 long hours. It felt like I was gonna lose my mind. After 2 days, my skin, stretched tight across my bones, looked hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water, I need water, someone please. Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? Family had abandoned me and were leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into uncontrollable shaking. Helplessness threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed the chair, started swinging at the window and at the door. But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone? Called at the door, begging for help. Someone open the door. Anyone? Water. I need water. 1 drop. That's all I need. Gonna die in here. Someone. Anyone? Mother. Father. DJ. Georges. Someone open the door, please. Help me. Someone. I need water. My throat hurts. It burns. I'm so weak. Someone. Water. Anyone. Monkey. Yes. But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the 3rd day came and went, and then the 4th. By that point, I was expectedly devoid of any sense of dignity, and I sat there, covered in all manner of human filth, as my body quickly wasted away. Still, I clung to the vain hope that someone would open the door. That's all I had. Occasionally, I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up the meager strength I had to bang on the door. Whoever's there, please, please open the door. I'm begging you, someone. My pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor. Did you hear that? Yes, I did. Wonder what's gotten to Lady Michelle. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. Should stay away from that door. If we don't want to be cursed too. I'm not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. Kinda scared. I might have find work somewhere else. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle's lost her mind. She's deranged. Scared even thinking about her. I'm not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right crazy. She's right mad. No, I'm not. Perfectly normal. Tee-hee-hee. Tee-hee. Someone please get me out of here. I beg of you. 5th and 6th day passed, and by that point I was hovering on death's brink. What was it? I think it was 5 days without water. It's supposed to be like 5 days without something, and then like a week without something else. By that point, I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door, and so I simply lay on the cold floor, waiting for the end. Felt no sorrow, anger, nor despair, nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. Couldn't even compose a coherent thought, which is why when the door I had so yearned to actually open did, and someone stepped inside standing over me, I was unable to process it. My god, what a mess. Hey, you still alive? Yeah, well, look at that. I was afraid you would be dead. It was Amy's voice. Sorry, really, I didn't mean you much harm, but after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset. Couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear was garbled noises. All I could do was moan at her. Servants are afraid of you now after your little episode, so I volunteered to bring you food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore. Eventually, my muddied mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hand. A tray of food. Could smell it from here. At first, I just gave you your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bite. What I don't know, though, is that people can die in just a few days without water. Never intended to kill you. Just didn't know, so I'm really sorry about that. Water. But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of. Water. What's that? You water? You need water? Hold on, I got some right here. Picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hand swiped weakly at it, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips, and then she let go. Go on, drink. Better hurry, or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink. That moment, could hear the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by survival instinct, I bent down towards the rug, pressing my lips against the spreading puddle. Ah, you really did it. It's too good, Michelle. You look like a cat. Nah, cats are much more graceful. Can't stop laughing, the daughter of a prestigious family, boiling or sucking water out of a carpet. I wish I had a painter here so I could capture this image on canvas. So, I accept that I made a mistake, Michelle. Promise I'll bring you food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. It's gonna be fun. Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. Well, having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat. I was hardly in peak condition. That would take some time, but given how badly malnourished I had been, Amy continued to treat me like a pet, constantly stoking the flames of rage within me. But I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. Assume it was calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, keep me as miserable as possible. She always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down on me. Come on, open up. I'm totally gonna feed you myself. What's the matter? Can't put anything in your mouth with your mouth closed. Or do you want to starve to death? Amy, why are you doing this? Why? Because it's fun. Why else? You married into this family, you sickening wench. What gives you an idea you could treat me? You saying that because I married in, I'm a lesser stature than you? That's true, I am. What's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities? Hey, mate! Ew, I would rather you not speak my name, if you wouldn't mind. It doesn't excuse you for treatment of me. Someone did your Georges will make you pay for this. You don't have a single friend here, Michelle. No one's gonna take your side. No one says a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you. It's a lie. Do you have an idea what people say about you? They say you got mad. Say you sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you? I'm not mad. I don't know, you look plenty mad to me. Grr. Fine, I'll run away. I'll escape from the estate and from you. You could survive out in the world with that body? Stray cat could lift more than you. You'd never find work. Give you a week at best. Can't be sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own. Maybe, but either way, you're not getting out. Try to run, someone might just cut off your legs. How's that at all necessary? Don't ask me. Just because your curse hasn't been broken, maybe? You're lucky you're even allowed to live. You should be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with you. So if you want to keep living, you should show some respect, and you have to do everything I tell you. Understood? So this is the real you, huh? You were just pretending to be respectable? When in reality, not only were you sleeping with Didier, you're a downright vile woman. Putting on an act ever since you got here. You make it sound like I'm somehow worse than everyone else. Quite normal, thank you. How is this normal? Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. Sweet girl I am. For the family, it's also me. When I held you in my arms, that too was me. Not putting on any act. Liar. Though to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was a lie, yeah. Mother hadn't asked, I wouldn't have even considered getting friendly with you. Hey, mate. Life as a noble woman is so dull. I'm so restricted. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful night there for the taking. Why shouldn't I have gone after him? Still young, Let me have some fun, Not like women have much else in the way of recreation. So it wasn't Didier but you who seduced him? And all would have worked out beautifully too if you had only kept your mouth shut. Ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice, now was it? Is it to any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself, Michelle. Brought this on myself? Don't you dare. Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. not the disturbed one. You're a crazy whore, and you don't try to pretend otherwise, damn you. Oh, such language. You've not been very nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know. I'm not a girl, though. What are you? I'm a man. A man with that body. Monkey ass. Amy quietly rose, grabbed me by the hair, and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me. Call yourself a man. Can't even get out of a girl's grip. Not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you'd have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't. Trace the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails traveling slowly down my chest. But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part. Tried to shove her aside with all my strength. I could squeeze out my arms, but as Amy said, I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do was lie there beneath her and beg, "Get off me!" Groaning in anger and frustration. Finger came across and stopped just above my navel. Looked up at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. Just as a wave of release spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. Ow. Shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Amy looked down to me as I screamed. Smirk spread across her face. Oh, does that hurt? That's a surprise. Even without boy parts, yeah, it does. Doesn't matter if you have anything there, that still hurts. Bro. Stop, I beg of you. She didn't even stop stepping on me. Beg you, please stop. Bro, she dug her toes into my flesh. What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't quite have proper girl parts either. Amy, please. On top of physical pain, unbearable humiliation and shame corroded away my spirit. What a strange creature you are, huh? Stop. If I could have died right there and there, honestly, it would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through. Take a look at yourself in the mirror, Michelle, and crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. Not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body? Ah, seriously. You're disgusting. Can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Damn. Amy's abuse was not a one-time occurrence. As she promised, she came to feed me every day, but her arrival brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day she chipped away at my spirit, but I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger still overpowered any fear I felt. About a week after Amy started caring for me. Have you been a good girl, Michelle? I brought you your supper. Set it right here for you. What's the matter, Michelle? Your food's right there. It's gonna get cold. Go on, eat, but no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I feed you? You. What? You have something to say? Oh, can't understand a word you're saying, Michelle. Well, if you would eat, you'd have enough strength to talk. Kill you. Huh? I'm going to kill you, Amy. That was, I believe, the first time in life I had felt sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. Wanted to see her dead. With my hands and legs tied up, I lurched for her. Like the dog she so wanted me to do, I chomped down on her wrist. Taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I had expected. It felt like I was going to vomit. But I was determined not to let go of her wrist for any reason. I would gnaw through to her bone and rip off her entire hand. She could beat me unconscious and I wouldn't let go still. She would have to kill me to get her off me. Or get me off her. Wanted her to feel the same I felt when she trampled on me. Let go! Body never did what I wanted to, though. Could swear on my life I wouldn't release my arm. But I could never seem to make good on my determination. Amy's foot flicked into my emaciated gut. Pointed tip of her shoe dug into my flesh like a knife. And I collapsed on the floor in a fit of convulsion. And just as I was about to cough up a mouthful of stomach acid, she rammed her foot into my abdomen a second time. Didn't even give me enough time to get on my feet, let alone fight back when she kicked me again. Again and again and again. My gut, my chest, my legs, and my face. What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You're not the one in control here. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful, yet here I am bringing you food. Can you not see just how kind-hearted I am? So why would you go and bite me? What would you possess you to do such a thing? Gasping for breath, my conscience slipped away from me. Caught a glimpse of Amy's eyes as she swung her leg back for another kick, and when I did, a single word rose to my mind: demon. Isn't that something? Can't even stand up to a girl. Not that strong. Weak and frail. It's the first time I've ever kicked someone. I have absolute control over you, Michelle. You understand that now, right? You learned your lesson, didn't you? Not an ounce of strength remained with me. My tongue and cheeks were torn up, and my mouth tasted like blood. Thinking herself weak and having no experience in the ways of physical violence, she knew no restraint. The ignorant can be much more brutal and viciously relentless than the seasoned. Vision had gone red, and I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgling sound when I took a breath. Geez, what am I gonna do with this hand? It hurts like crazy. I know, I'll tell everyone you finally lost it, and tried to bite my hand off. They'll all feel so bad for me. Can I just see the sad look in Diddy and George's face? They will not. You know, your brothers have completely given up on you. Deranged sisters, nothing for trouble. You know what you are, Michelle? You're a demon child. Why was I the demon and not her? Why? Did no one come to my aid? Yeah. Several times I considered ending my life. But every time I did, the better memories of better days came back to me. Of the time before my body had transformed, the days when we were all sorts of happiness. Sure for the happiness kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things be like they had been back then? In my heart I hadn't changed at all, so how did things end up like this? Just waiting for these strawberries to defrost. Michelle, oh Michelle, are you in there? You need something, Georges? Oh, come on, don't be like that. Do I need something to talk to you? Nah, you looked in unusually good mood, though. Why wouldn't I be? It's wonderfully gloomy out there. Wouldn't understand if it was clear out. What do you mean wonderfully gloomy? Well, it can't be outside for very long when it's not cloudy, so in our case, it's perfect weather. Oh. Just say we go for a little stroll while we can. Dee's around today, too, so we could see what he's up to. Be like old times. Just run around like a headless chicken lately. So we haven't had much time for a sibling outing. I'll have Mom make lunch for us, and then, we'll take a couple horses up to the forest edge. Fine with that if you are. You bet your bum I am. I asked after all. Now come on, let's go. An outing, you say? Yep. Hop on a couple horses, head for the forest. Haven't done it in a while, so I figured why not? See, well, Michelle's coming. I see no reason to say no. Let's set off right away. Whoa, slow down. Are you saying you wouldn't go if it was just me? It's Michelle or nothing. Of course, why on earth would I want to go host riding alone with you? I'd rather drown myself. Fucking gasp! Bruh. Didier, could you perhaps make a small request? Go on, let's hear it. You mind if I hold the horse's reins? Oh, that's all? Sure. I'll be right behind you to make sure nothing happens, so have at it. Do be warned, horses are a bit temperamental. You're not gentle, start getting moody. That'll be any problem for you, though, Michelle. I'll be careful. Hey, we'll slow down. Hey, guys. Look at that, Michelle. George is fumbling around all the way back there. Are we going a bit too fast? Nah, we're fine. That you're able to get past that so quickly is proof of your talent. You finally caught up. It's not a race, you know? Can't we just enjoy the scenery, indulge in some nice pathos? A warrior and his horse need not pathos. Isn't that right, Michelle? Certainly is. Come on, guys, be nice. This was my idea. Taken after old D, haven't you, Michelle? I would rather see you admiring flowers or dancing with butterflies, gazing out at beautiful sunsets or enjoying poetry. More pathos, my dear sister, and less barbarism. Long sword suits and armors and tales of heroic knights are so much more feeling, though. We'll let him get his claws in too deep, Michelle. Oh dear, I'm gonna have 2 meathead siblings before I know it. What did you just call me? Now, you two. Why don't we just stop here for a picnic? Seconded. Stomach is rumbling. Took a few bites because I was about to die back there. Damn, he ate all the food. Aww. So the other day I brought a cat home. Cat, yeah, speckled from head to toe and ugly as a witch's arse. Was gonna keep it in my room, but Mom flipped when she saw it. Keep that filthy thing out of my house. Wish there was something we could do about how much of a clean freak she is. George, just try not to stress Mother out too much. You're unpredictable enough as it is. Would be nice, though, to have a cat, you know, I mean. How about this? We'll keep it in the courtyard. I'll feed it on the days when it's clear, and you can do it on cloudy days. I don't know what cats eat, though. I don't know. Bet you like pastries. Do you want to kill that thing? Can't approve of anyone taking care of animals that thinks that's a good idea. Ah. Life's all about experimentations. Live and learn. Sonic. Don't experiment on animals. Oh, my eyes. Alright, come up with a name for the kitty cat. Not very often you get to name a living thing. I mean, I guess there'll be more chances down the road, consider its practice. Something elegant and beautiful, you got this. Don't put too much pressure on her. It is a good opportunity, don't stress though. Just choose something you like. The cat was speckled and ugly. Yeah, one look you'd be laughing. Alright, ugly speckle. That's its name? Seem we do not have a feature in the arts, Michelle. But you said it was ugly and speckled, Georges. Yeah, I thought you'd try harder than that, though. Ugly speckles it is. It's kind of charming when you say it out loud. It's not that funny. Damn. You would taint this cat like this. When Michelle gets older and a little bigger, let's do it again, the three of us and our ugly speckled cat. Yeah, we're good friends here after all. Never been your friend, though. Damn. Meanwhile... Dear Georges, was Amy telling the truth? Do you really think I'm nothing but trouble? You think I lost my mind? That I'm a demon child? Why do you not open the door for me and let me out? Were things I said that day really so heinous? Do you resent me too, like Amy? How do you think about me now? Is this body really so unusual? If I hadn't undergone the transformation I did, would things still be the way they were before? Would I be able to go outside in the forest again, making silly, meaningless conversation? Everyone laughing like we did? If this body hadn't changed, would I not be trapped in darkness? Well, yeah, in this case. Even if that were the case, I didn't want to be a girl. God descended from heaven and offered me to change back. I'd turn him down, because inside, I wasn't. And my nightmare Amy's hands didn't hand there. As much as I loathed to admit, I was terrified of her. Every day I dreaded the sound of the door opening. However, if I were to block the door off with furniture, I'd lose my only remaining lifeline. No choice in the matter. Time for supper, Michelle. Brought your favorite parsnips. Well, what the dog's in need of them anyway. You don't mind that, do ya? Gonna cut your nails today, Michelle. Need to stay still, or you wouldn't want my hand to slip. So make sure you do. I'm tying you up. This way you can't accidentally move. Here's your water, Michelle. It's murky. Oh, heavens! I must have fetched it from the wash basin by mistake. It's supper time, Michelle. Brought you parsnips again. Don't worry, the dogs didn't have any this time. They didn't seem to be interested in eating them raw. Well, you don't want any. What am I gonna do with these? You know, Michelle, you're such a disgrace. Cry for me, won't ya? Beg for mercy. Look at you, all that pride gone out the window. It's hilarious, I tell you. She did everything imaginable to torture me physically and emotionally. To be honest, it was impressive, in a sick way, how she was able to come up with so many different ways to torment me. And she knew precisely what caused me the most pain, my body and the discrepancy between what I was and what I felt. She delighted in telling me I wasn't male, and sometimes in showing me. I don't need to describe those things she did to me anymore. I could think the only way to keep myself from breaking down. I completely stopped talking and stopped struggling. And one day, after about 6 months, she said blah, 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 blah. She said with a disinterested sigh, I'm done. And that was the last of it. By swallowing my pride and not resisting, I was able to escape her grip. When she was gone, the servants took over tending me again. Still in prison, but now there was serenity in my solitude. Didn't speak with anyone. Didn't make eye contact. Didn't do anything. Just lived. But even though I had peace, I still feared Amy having changed her heart. Trembled at the possibility that one day it might be her that opened the door. But above else, I hated and despised the fact that I lived in such fear of a girl. An overwhelming self-loathing threatened to crush me. I had recurring nightmares about one thing. About the things that Amy had done to me. The wounds she gave me didn't heal. They only grew worse, eating away at me every day. I was beginning to lose confidence in my own sanity in silent darkness. There was no sense of time. The line between dread and reality blurred. I often found myself screaming, crying into empty air. Crawled on my skin, pulled my hair, paced back and forth the room, pounded the door, yelling for help, screaming some more. It's very image of pitiful, absolute wretchedness, and every time I did it, I'm sure there was someone on the other side of the door whispering about how poor Michelle lost her mind. Eventually, gave up entirely. It was a stormy night in my 16th year. Been confined for 2 or more years at that point. Heavy rain pounded against the windows like thousands of little spears. Sitting quietly on my bed, unable to sleep. Suddenly there was a loud banging on the door. Michelle, are you awake? Mikkel, are you awake? If you aren't, then hurry up and get awake. Got big trouble. Lower your damn voice. But when I first heard my brother's voice after so long, I thought I was hallucinating. 2 years, they'd never once come for me, no matter how hard I pounded on the door, no matter how many times I called for them. After all the time, I didn't expect that to ever change. Given up, assumed that they had long since cast me aside. Unable to bring myself to say anything, I simply stared at the door. There was another bam bang. Sound was half consumed by a crack of thunder, giving it an indescribably eerie quality. Please say something, Mikkel. Seriously, there's no time. Can you hear us in there, can't you? You're in there behind the door, aren't you? Come on, just one word. Is it really you, Didier? George's... For a moment, they seemed to be at a loss for words, probably because they didn't recognize her voice. It was only a heartbeat, and then Didier spoke. There's a carriage waiting outside. I'm gonna unlock the door so you can leave in it. Why? 'Cause Dad's talking crazy. He's saying the Bollinger family has no need for a demon child and that you're a mark of shame in our name. So he's gonna have you executed. Georges! Father wants me dead? Fell to the floor. It felt like the floor had fallen out from underneath me. Executed? Demon child? Mark of shame. So he was saying I didn't even deserve to live anymore. It's planned for tomorrow morning. We only just found out ourselves, which is why you prepared a way for me to escape? But why? Why? Do you even need to ask? 'Cause we're family. Something terrible's gotten into Father. Clenched my teeth, fighting back bitter, angry sigh. But I couldn't keep all these emotions bottled up for long. Maelstrom of feelings I thought I had lost 2 years ago. Lost in my 2 years of imprisonment swirled up in me. Spilling from my lips. Why? Why are you doing this now? If you really felt that way, why didn't you come sooner? 2 years I spent locked in this room. Do you have any idea how that felt in that time? Any idea how hard I had to endure? How many times I cried for your help? How hard I pounded the door begging to be set free? But never did you once come for me. Not even once. I was scared, you know. I scare you, don't I? You think I've gone insane, that I lost my mind, that I sold my soul to the devil, don't you? No, Mikkel, we don't. Then why? Why didn't you come and set me free? Mikkel, no, we don't think you lost your mind at all. So you didn't want to see me then. You didn't want to face what I'd become. Tell me I'm wrong, did you, Georges? You left me here, abandoned me for 2 whole years. Locked me away so you didn't have to see me. But sorry, I'm just, busy with art. Been getting a ton of commissions down at the court. Did use the knight, so he's up to his neck in expeditions. Really sorry. As am I. Cannot say that you're wrong, though. After what happened, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to act around you. Still not sure even now. I knew I had to find time to collect myself, but I kept putting it off, vainly hoping that time would take care of it all. And for that I owe you an apology. But you need to understand, I don't agree with Father's decision. I don't want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child. And Georges feels the same way. Neither of us want to see you dead. Yeah, what he said. There's not much time. We need to get you out of here. Bit down hard on my lower lip, hard enough to draw blood. It was that, or start sobbing. It's a little late for that. Mikkel, if you don't get out of here, you're gonna be killed. If I'm not an angel sent from heaven or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family. And that's all there is to it. I pray you can forgive me for averting my eyes for so long. Can I trust you? Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I trust you, put my trust in you once more? You absolutely can. I swear on God, to God on high. And I swear to the God of art. I have no other choice, do I? Couldn't talk to Father out of it, could I? I would rather you didn't try. He is not a man to change his mind. If you were to show up before him, he'd likely draw his sword on you himself. He would destroy Mother. Sorry, we're not doing this only for you. Alright, I'll go. Thank goodness! Carriage will take you to the mansion. It's property Father purchased some time ago, but due to rumors about it, it's abandoned. No one wants to buy it from him either, and that's unlikely to change. It's a deal place to keep you out of sight. Kind of rumors. Well, no point keeping it a secret. He has the right to know. Say a witch lives there. A witch? I think it's just made up personally. I went to check the place out myself and there was no one there. It's a little dreary to be sure. I'd hoped to have a better place arranged, but there wasn't enough time. It's only temporary. Cannot say how long it'll be. Temporary 10 years, it seems at this point. But Father will pass away eventually. When he does, George will inherit the estate. And that means he can return. So I ask that you hold out until that time. If I don't leave, I'm going to be executed. So send me anywhere, I won't complain. Glad to hear you say that. I'll talk to Father and ensure he does not suspect anything. Make this work, don't you worry. Long and short of it, Dad simply wants you erased from the family. Charges! Sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean, but, anywho, once it's over, we're in the clear. You'll be acknowledged as Boilinger again. Okay. Can I open the door now? Oh, just a minute. You're still not ready. I don't, have any clothes. Oh, right, you wouldn't, huh? How tall are you now? Like, same height as you, I think. You're taller than me? Damn. Alright, I'll bring you clothes. Thanks. I didn't think I'd ever hear you say thank you without putting up a fight, Mikhail. That's not true, I don't think. Ha. I'll be back soon and get what you need together. Alright. I mean, what would you have to get in this room that you... There's nothing. It's like nothing. It's like in a carriage outside, listening to pitter-patter of rain, I gazed at my two brothers. Hadn't seen them in 2 years, but they hardly looked any different than how I remembered them. I wasn't the only one who had changed and dramatically like that. Looking at them, I couldn't help but remember the old days. Playing chess with Didier, learning to draw with George's. Our sibling outings, however, the ominous sound of thunder crashing in the distance drowned those memories out. Mansion's several days' travel from here. Hopefully the carriage isn't too uncomfortable. Send a package with supplies that you need once a month. Food, clothing, and something to pass the time, I guess. If there's anything you want, just tell me. Now, or you can have a servant pass a message on. Can't think of, actually, I can think of one thing. I'd like a chess set. Alright, I can make one made. I would rather have yours, Didier. Would that be possible? Are you sure you want that beaten old thing? Yes, I want that one. Alright, I'll include it in the first delivery. I'll send you something, too. Anything you want, tell me. In that case, I'd like some art tools. Nowhere near as much of an artist as you, so it doesn't have to be anything special. Gotcha, canvases, and how about some charcoal? When you're back, I want to see what you made with it, okay? Alright, does that mean that the paintings are from, like, her brother? The one that he was all emotional about? No, I know this is already hard enough on you, Mikhail, but I need to ask you something for me. Avoid making contact with anyone who doesn't already know about you. So I can't talk to anyone but the servants. Yeah. Tomorrow the world will consider you dead. Can't have people finding out you're actually alive. Especially Father, do this for me. Already been doing that for 2 years, dude. Long since lost interest in interacting with anybody, so don't have to worry about that. Right, haha. Does anyone else know I'm alive? Yeah, Mother knows. In fact, this was her idea. What? She loves you, Mikhail. She really does. Well, I'm just, you know, having a little trouble facing the truth. So even though she's not here to see you off, I guarantee you she doesn't want to see you dead. Wants to have life again. Expect Mother will be writing you, so take the time to write her back. She's a troubled woman, but her love for you is true and unwavering. You do that? Just a quick, you know, hey, I got your letter, doing great. It'll suffice. Alright. Just, you know, it kills me indeed that we can't send up to Dad. As long as he lives, he's got word of God. He's word of God in the house. I get it. You know, it could have gone. He could be gone quicker than you expect. You know, a week from now, bam, he's just dead. It's Dee's social life. Damn. Is there not an ounce of respect in your body? Oh, give me a break. I'm upset. He's gone way too far. Once he's dragged his arse off to the great beyond, anything goes. Surprise! Mikhail was alive. Haha. Yeah, I guess. Till then, we'll take care of things. Tomorrow's gonna be a performance of our lives. Crying like a couple of big babies, laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. So I'm not stupid, I know this is important. Not even Amy will expect the thing. Amy. Yeah, not even she can know. It's gonna crush her, I'm sure, but less people who know, the better. When Georgia said her name, my whole body went shamefully cold. Been a year and a half since she had put me through hell, but every last detail remained carved onto my body and mind. There's no way she would even be slightly sad about my death. She might have acted, but she certainly would be elated. It seemed Georges had yet to see what label it on the woman's surface. I knew you two were close. Huh? You worried that this might affect her? What? She cared for you about 6 months, didn't she? When you wouldn't let the servants in? What? From what I hear, you got real close to dying in there. You wouldn't eat unless she was there. Who the hell told you that? What? Is that not what happened? Did something happen between you two, Mikhail? Amy didn't do a damn thing. Never mind. Can't tell them. Can't put what I went through into words. It would only worsen things, especially not in front of my brothers. Georges, how are things between you two? Still letting what happened 2 years ago get to you? Well, I mean, at the time, it was a total disaster. Not all excited about getting myself a little wife, only to find out she's rocking about with someone else. Cried for weeks. Yeah, my bad, bro. Deep down, I thought, though she ain't actually a bad girl. Young and kids make mistakes, you know. After it came out, she turned over a new leaf, started doting on me more seriously, and it's hard not to let one little mistake like that go when she's trying so hard to make up with me. Age doesn't excuse. Excuse doesn't work for D though. For about a year, things were really rough between us. Didn't even want to look at him. At the end of the day, we're family. Can get past anything. Besides, because you let the cat out of the bag, gave me something to hold over D. All things considered, I'm not complaining. So, you say you're happy then? Sure. Believe it or not, I'm kind of head over heels for her. Hard not to like a girl like Amy. Oh, okay. You really feel that bad about 2 years ago? So she's still keeping up the good girl facade around them. No one else needs to know. That no one else knows she's a sadistic cackling demon. Nothing less trustworthy in the world than a woman who's always smiling. But if Georges thinks he's happy, then can't take that away from him. Oh yeah, I do feel guilty about the way I lost control. Took it out on you guys. Happens to everyone. In fact, you could stand to do a little more shouting and fussing. Then you could, because I have underdeveloped social skills. You heard that? Oh man, you got a hell of a nasty streak, huh, D? Glad to hear you're still on good terms. Wasn't my intention to pit the two of you against each other. We know. Blame falls on my shoulders. Want you to know something, Mikhail. That your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept. With enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before, just like it did for me and Georges. Nothing of it was your fault. It's all unfortunate, all unfortunate timing. God's a little bit of a jerk. Try not to forget I'm a knight. In time. Speaking of which, we don't have much time, though, until the coachman set off, okay? Did you? Tell me the truth. Will the three of us ever meet again? Well, why would you even ask that? Of course! Not a chance I'm letting this be our last family get-together, except it totally was. One last question, then. Am I your brother? I mean, look at ya. Don't look much like a sister to me. So yeah, I'd say you are. I mean, he has been referring to him as he, so that's cool. I see. So long then. Farewell, and may good health bless you until we meet again. Till then, Mikhail. Farewell. Before seeing me off for good, they both give me strong, firm hugs. Didier first and Georges. Warmth I felt in their arms and my family's arms slowly spread through my chilled body, which made it much more difficult to part ways. wheels of the carriage rattle against a wet stone path. Stuck my head out the window, watching as they shrank in the distance, standing there in the rain until they were out of view. Tightness filled my breasts. Every glimmer of hope I had with my new life was matched with an equal degree of darkness and uncertainty. Would I ever make it back home? And if I did, would people still call me a demon child? Having a right mother was another uncomfortable weight on my soul. Thought of having to play a girl for her made me sick. George's acted like it would be nothing, but it wasn't that easy. It's more than mere pretend. Didier said that with time things change, but how could he be certain that those changes would be for the better? Wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. So I'm assuming this has to continue until we first meet Morgana. Oh no, okay, we're back in the blood room. Never mind. Next thing I know, I'm sinking in a vast void. Darkness cuffs my hands and legs, checking my movement. Images of the past I had kept buried for so long streamed past me. So now we're in Exiled. This isn't how I wanted things to happen. Not coming from my own mouth, but being laid there for all to see without my consent. That wasn't how I wanted her to find out my secret. I warned you, my dear. I told you you didn't want to claim your old self. If you had simply let it be, you wouldn't be here now, forced to relive it all. Now, do you understand? The tale I spun before the fourth door was as much for you as it was for her. There, you were a young man with a sad fate, but you met a wonderful woman, fell in love with her, and then died in her arms of tragedy. Sequence of events is not far from the truth, but I was able to turn them into something enchanting and beautiful. Got rid of all the nasty little details, your ugliness, your body troubles, all that. Doesn't seem a bit unfair, Mikkel. You tore down the walls around Giselle's heart and her past, but you wanted to keep your own nice, safe, and hidden away. She has every right to be upset. You were afraid she wouldn't accept you, were you not? That's precisely what happened. But you can honestly blame her. Truth you kept hidden away is not something most would be able to accept. Prince who came riding in to save her. Silence. Wasn't actually a man. Please, enough. I've seen enough. Let it stay buried, please. Just stop this. I don't want to see it. I don't want anything to do with it. What a sad little creature you are, my dear. Not a woman in this world would have any interest in you now. Everyone want the pee-pee. We haven't invented such things yet. Except this is like the 1900s at this point, so they probably have. You surrounded yourself with layers upon layer of walls, covering yourself with this patchwork barely hold together quilt of masks, and it's the only thing keeping you together. You're the frailest one of all, the weakest. And it's about time you accepted that and stopped trying to fight it. I am not weak. Oh, is that so? Let's proceed with the tale, shall we? Face the one you hate the most in the world, yourself. Your weakness, your ugliness. Face it in despair. So yeah, this has to be when like Morgana first shows up. Rip. Once again, my own desires, my own wishes are completely irrelevant. Past sprawls before me again. And the witch is exactly right. I despise the man I was back then, teeming with vain hope and foolish dreams. I'd rather pretend the part of me never existed. But I have no choice. Dragged back into the life I once lived. Please for mercy fading into dark of nothing. Couldn't remember how long it had been since the capital had disappeared in the distance, but I'd been on the road for some time. Long since left paved roads behind. The carriage rocked back and forth as it proceeded down a rough dirt path. For hours I stared through the window as unfamiliar scenery flowed past. Eventually a fog settled over the area, making it difficult to discern night from day. We made our way through the dark, dense woods. Beyond that, the world fading into view of a dream, a mansion appeared. All the windows were either shuttered or boarded, casing the house in darkness. In a way, it felt like all I had done was move from one prison to a larger one. Briefly, I thought possibly sealed to keep anyone from seeing the inside, but my coming here was a recent development. More likely, the house had been in this condition when it was initially purchased. Quite the piece of property my father had found himself. Wondered if he had been swindled by the previous owner. It was a gloomy, uninviting place, but didn't appear to be in despair. Coachman left my luggage outside the door, gave me an empty farewell, and went on his way. Entirely alone. Spent time just staring at the forest. Naturally, there was nothing interesting to be found, so I quietly turned around and opened the door to the mansion. Certainly dark, couldn't even see my feet. Briefly considered trying to unshutter a window or two, but ended up deciding against it. The less inviting the place looked, the easier it'd be for me to avoid contact with the outside world, as the idea had recommended. Standing there in darkness several minutes, my eyes gradually got accustomed to the lack of light, which was hardly ideal. Sufficing to look around the house. The inside didn't look like it had received the same level of care as the outside. Everything was dusty, and the air was many years stale. But I wasn't in a cleaning mood, so I just dug through my luggage, found a bunch of candles, and lit one. With flint. Stained glass window. Examining the large room I found myself in, I came across a stained glass window depicting an angel. Archangel, whom I had been named, looked solemnly down upon. Quite the joke. 2 columns, evenly spaced pews ran the length of the room, facing the window. Set the candlestick on the podium, which is when I realized this is a chapel. Flat length of silver bent in the middle was mounted in the pulpit's face. When I saw it, I knew what it used to be, a cross. Pews weren't facing the glass, but the cross. Why? Felt as though the mansion built around the chapel rather than the opposite. I was perplexed as to why anyone would do that. But of course, there's no one around to sate my curiosity. So this original chapel was the one that Morgana was forced to live, well, not live, but to exist in while she got drained. It was the house of Beast Boy's girlfriend in the past life. Small door. Touched it. It was cold. Seemed normal and unexplainable anxiety spread through me. Very unusual. Instincts told me I should stay away, but my heart told me it was my duty to see what was beyond it. What am I gonna find there? Here's the staircase. I was looking at a long spiral staircase. Wood stretched so high I couldn't tell where it ended. Observation tower, huh? This is being pushed forward by an inhuman force. I mounted the staircase. Third or fourth loop, a soft light began to peek through. Through one window I gazed outside. Far in the distance I saw a village. Nowhere I'm ever going. So many stairs. Been quite some time since I exerted myself. Hardly had any opportunity locked away in my chambers. With every step, I heard my joints creak and my muscles scream. Long since out of breath, only staying upright with the help of the wall. This is pitiful, damn. Turning back never occurred to me. I had to keep climbing, had to make it to the top. It was that feeling of necessity that pushed me. By the time I reached the top, I was practically gasping for air. Sweat streamed down my forehead. Wiped it aside, turned my gaze to another door. Unlike the first, tangle of ropes covered this one. Layers on layers of it, making it intent abundantly clear. Nothing shall come in or out. Didn't like the look of it. Didn't look like it had been put there recently. Most of it was rotten through. Out of curiosity, I grabbed it. The rope snapped in several places. Wasn't even enough to allow the door open, though. People only seal doors like this for a reason, largely because they didn't want or allow other people to see what hid behind it, like what they did to me. For a few moments, I felt as though I was looking at myself from outside my body. If I hadn't been a man, but someone else there, would they have turned it back at the sight of a sealed door, acting as though there was nothing there, or would they have done as I did? Ground my teeth, a mix of annoyance and bitterness rushing through me, but I didn't hesitate. Held the flame of the candle up to the rope, carefully set the whole thing on fire. It was repetitive and time-consuming, but I persisted, wiping away sheets of sweat that steamed before my eyes. The sun was well on its way down when I finally managed to expose the door. Took a deep breath and looked up and gulped. There was something indescribably chilling about the door. Then I pushed it open. Barely noticeable breeze brushed past me. Single ray of sunlight shone in the window room, coming from a single window up on the wall. Cast a milky white perch of light on the hard floor, revealing the fact that I was not alone. Rumors say a witch lives in the mansion, or I saw in this cursed house. A skeleton with only one arm. Hey, it's Morgana's dead body. Cursed mansion for a cursed man. It's like I was destined to be there. I had no way of finding out who the skeleton belonged to, so I left it there at the top of town and retreated. I wondered to myself, how had the one-eyed person died? How they felt locked in that room, staring up at the sole window out of reach. But the only thing they could have seen was the sky and an occasional bird. Had they yearned for more light? Had they come to despise the tiny room, the tiny, patch of it that trickled into the room? Had there been some sort of wicked criminal in prison for wrongdoing? No, not all prisoners are necessarily bad people. Having been branded a non-existent curse, couldn't help but think they were perhaps something familiar. Similar had happened to whoever they were, vainly reaching out for the sun, constantly praying for rescue that would never come. What had they gone through? What had gone through their mind as they withered away? Would anyone come for me? Would my brothers keep their word, or would I years from now end up another pile of dry bones somewhere in the house, unwanted and forgotten, robbed of all hope that no one but the darkness to talk to as it sunk its teeth deeper and deeper into me? That corpse could be me in the future. Did you really send me to keep you hidden here, or is this to be my grave? Can I put faith in you? Can I trust what you said, that I'll be able to return? Everyone will happily accept me. We'll be together. We'll play chess and draw pictures that nobody will be left out. All I really wanted was for people to accept who I was, to accept that I was a man now, that I had grown to resemble a man, that I had the heart of a man. I didn't need anything else. Didn't want to cause anyone anguish. Didn't want to hate anyone. Simply wished to be who I was. Well, no, who I wanted to be. I didn't want to be treated like I was strange or different. If that was too much to ask, then at the very least I wanted to have one person in my life who truly understood. Didier Georges, I can only pray that you can be that for me. Lurking quietly in the mansion's all-encompassing darkness, I waited and hoped that the day might arrive when I could come out of hiding. Oh no, air fryer's making noise. However, 1, 2, 3 years later, still had not been set free. Only my mother wrote to me. And in her letter, she said the same thing. When your curse is broken, come back home, sweetheart. When your curse is broken, I want you back in my life. When your curse is broken, everything will be back to normal. I wait expectantly for the day you are free of that terrible curse. Curse will never be broken, though. What I was now was meant to be. What I meant to be. All that time I'd spent as a girl, none of that was real. Didier had said he didn't think I was cursed. My brother didn't think I was some hellish demon child. So no, the curse would never be broken, because there was no curse to begin with. I wasn't cursed at all. No damn curse. With the flow of time, eroded away at me, slowly killing my confidence, sucking me dry. Of all trust for others and myself. With enough time, I started to question my own beliefs about what I was, started thinking that I was cursed. Much like they had at the Boilinger estate, the servant who came by every month did their best to avoid a contact. Beyond just food, he actually checked up on me and made sure I didn't attempt to run away. And every month, he'd probably went back and told Mother the same thing, that my curse had still not been broken. You have the answers I seek, O Father in heaven. If you do, I ask you to guide me. Please tell me what I am. I truly am cursed, and perhaps you could tell me how much my soul weighs, too. Probably not very much. Spent enough time alone in the dark mansion to drive anyone mad. The more time passed, the more I grew to question myself, my worth as a human. And when the self-doubt and loathing became too much to take, I trekked up to the top of the observation tower to see the light. Stare at the bone body. Sitting there on the floor, I would place a hand on the skeleton's leg, its shoulder, its hand. From the size of the bones, it appeared to have been young when their life had withered away. Poor child, even I feel blessed compared to you. Oh, how miserable it must have been locked away in this tower, to have your arm mercifully severed. You have a pity, though. I alone shall mourn your death. I alone shall take comfort in your presence. Poor, poor child. By pretending to pity someone who had it worse than me, I was able to feel somewhat better about myself. Because if I was in a position to pity someone else, then that means I wasn't in a position to be pitied. Vainly, foolishly trying to convince myself of a lie, I spent hours, days, alone in the tower, holding the dry bones in my arms. Now there was a sight to lead credence to alleged madness. One time the air in the mansion seemed to thicken as if the fog were condensing. Water pushed out of the air, swallowing me up and suffocating me. A mire trapped at the bottom of this thick black sludge. Soon lost track of the passage of time, my only landmarks being the dates on Mother's letters. Before I knew it, 8 years had passed. Oh wow. So it's literally up to 2 years before Giselle showed up. The hell is this? I hadn't heard my own voice in so long I forgot what it sounded like. There was a delivery that day, but it wasn't the usual package. The servant was carrying a large rectangular object draped in cloth. Shoving that into my hands, he said, "The regular supplies will be here in a couple of days," and ran off. Presumably he was afraid to spend any more time than necessary with a cursed man. I didn't bother saying anything. It was a waste of breath, and I was not inclined to hold it against him if he didn't want to look at me in the eyes to exchange words. All I could do reasonably was sit back and bear it. As long as I kept my mouth shut, the man could do his job in peace. By the candlelight, I began unwrapping the package the servant had delivered. Within, a sheet of parchment fell to the floor, and inside the package was a painting. Just looking at it, I could tell what it was, aside from the fact that it was a portrait of a woman. I knew the brushstrokes, though. They were distinctively George's. The woman depicted had white hair. White hair? There was a flash, a fresh jolt of pain that nearly faded away. Half-dozen needles pierced my chest. So much blood had spilled from those gouges I had long since lost any sensation of pain, but now it was back. No, Georges, no. My whole body... Oh, so it was a painting of younger... Okay. Whole body froze. The blood in my veins came to a halt. Couldn't breathe. I was drowning in a pool of imaginary water. So that's how come he stabbed it. Makes sense. Crouched down and picked up a sheet of parchment. It was a letter in Mother's handwriting. First line read as it did in correspondence. Beloved daughter Michelle. Every day I pray your curse might be broken, but lately I've come to think that perhaps the reason you remain cursed is because you've forgotten what you're supposed to be. So long you've spent in that cursed form, it is little surprise you would lose sight of yourself. How could you return to your true self if you don't even remember it? So I asked George to paint you a picture, hoping it might help break you free of the curse. You're a beautiful young woman, my dear Michelle. I presume you've already seen the painting. It's lovely, wouldn't you agree? Flowing white hair, the skin like glass, those deep, enchanting red eyes. Slender fingers and modest feminine frame. The soft lips. It is not you when you were younger, though. Instead, I had him imagine what you would look like now. That's the idea of what you would look like when your curse is broken. Isn't that wonderful? Imagine it. Envision yourself, your true self. Remember who you are. Recall your true self. I wait eagerly until the day you come back, looking as beautiful as you do in this painting, my dear sweet Michelle. This is it. This is the real you. You're beautiful, my little girl. I love you dearly. This awful fuss all those years ago. We can pretend none of that ever happened. Forget all the dreadful things that curse made you. Come the girl you used to be, the girl you were meant to be, so we can be a happy family once more. I am waiting, forever waiting for you. Monka S. Letter ended there, leaving me with the woman in the painting staring back at me. Her eyes seemingly insist that I was not me. That she was the real me, and I was nothing more than a fraud. Laughing at me, scoffing at me for thinking I was anything but female, mocking me stubbornly, insisting I wanted to be a man. Pain in my chest swelled, spilling from my mouth in grunts and moans. And then I screamed from the bottom of my lungs. Why? I yanked at my hair. Why, Georges? Slammed the painting against the floor. You said I could believe you. You swore to the god of art. So why would you do this to me? You said yourself you didn't think I was cursed. You acknowledged me as your brother. You know this isn't me, so why? Why would you make this? I've been waiting for so long. Put my trust in you and did you? Trusted you. I believed you would always support me. Was that all a lie? Deep down you really think I'm cursed, just like Mother. That's why you haven't written to me. Why you haven't answered any of my letters. Where did my faith get? Why did you even help me escape? Was it all for show? Was my execution just a lie? An excuse for you to send me some far, far away? Well, tell me. Tell me the truth. What about you, did you? Where do you stand? This isn't real. I didn't have the strength to hold it, and everything came spilling out from me, squeezed out by phantom water. The white-haired girl in the painting just stared back, smiling. I bit down on my lips as hard as I could. Metallic taste slipped on my mouth. Drops of blood trickled to the floor. Pulling the knife I had used to open the monthly deliveries on my waistband, lifted high in the air and gathered what remained of the strength I had, and slashed the woman's face with it. Carved into it with everything I had. Don't try to erase who I am. Don't call me repulsive or say I'm an abomination. Torn to the smile and contempt surging with every slash. This woman isn't real. Wanted to curse the whole damn world, every last thing, this wretched mire that had become my life. My brothers for happily going about their lives as I suffered here in darkness. My delusional mother for refusing to acknowledge who I was. My father for trying to have me killed. Amy for making me realize I was a man, and then torturing me about coming out with it. Everyone, I didn't care anymore. I wanted everyone who had wronged me to suffer the way I had. I can make that happen. A voice rang out. I could curse them for you, my dear. It was a woman's voice, muffled like there were several walls between me and her. Who's there? Swept up my candlestick, thrusting it forward to the sides behind me. But there's no one else. Give it a little thought. It's not that difficult. And when you figure it out, come to me. I've been waiting for ever so long for someone like you. Someone with as much hatred for the world. How am I supposed to know who you are? How could you not, my dear? You visited me so many times. Held me in your arms, whispered poor child into my ear again and again. What? No, that's not possible. Ah, I see. I finally lost my mind. That's what you wish to believe. That's your choice. The way I see it. If you had truly lost your mind, you wouldn't be in so much pain. Voice still muffled and unclear seemed to be coming from somewhere far away and very close at the same time. Find your way to me and open the door once more. Let me out of my cage. Give me your hand. Knew in the back of my mind that it was absurd. Nevertheless, I did as the voice said, let myself be drawn in by the pleasant whispers. Archangel stood proudly upon the glass perch, looking down at me. His gaze seemed judgmental, but I marched for the tower unconcerned. For so long I've been waiting for the day I would be rid of this darkness, for the day someone would truly set me free. When you arrived at this house, I felt the hand of fate at work, that you were led here. You were meant to come to this place. You've been through so much to get here. I know your pain. I know how much it feels to be locked up, to be tortured and used for others' gains. You were the only one to ever have pity for me, and I shall be the only one to have compassion for you. You were the only one to stay at my side, and I shall do the same for you. You give me life again, you can resurrect me. Open the door, Mikkel. Well, I was no longer in control of my body. Her voice was tender in a way unlike either mother or Amy's. Enticingly so. Standing at the top of the observation tower, I pushed open the door. The first thing I saw was the ray of light shining through the window. Nothing else. Thank you for opening the door. It was empty. The skeleton, which had been sitting there for so long as I had been in the house, had vanished. Spun around, my gaze darting back and forth across the chamber, but there was no one there. Only her voice whispering in my ear. You made this possible. You gave me the chance to have my revenge. Revenge? Now I could make those men suffer a hell even worse than the one they put me through. Constant, everlasting despair. Their flesh may turn to dust, but as long as their souls live on, this torture will know no end. Ha 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 ha. The tenderness in her voice crumbled away, leaving only raw loathing behind. She then let out a half-muffled cackle. Who are you? Oh, you poor dear. They locked you up without telling you whose house it was. Sad, pathetic thing. Though that's exactly the kind of person I needed. You're not the witch, are you? That I am. I am the cursed witch who loathes the puny, wretched world, curses it. My name is Morgana, by the way. Add me on Instagram. Morgana, I assumed the witch had been nothing but a legend, a tale. If you don't believe me, I'd be happy to show you. Let's see. Place a curse on someone you have grudges against. Drag them into the dark abyss. You are the one who granted me freedom, after all. Sympathized with me, pitied me, appreciated me. You happily embraced my filthy corpse. For that I will grant you your wish. Wishes can come true, Mikkel. Much the same way I was able to come back to life. If you remain steadfast in your desires, they will become reality. For devotion and yearning are the fountain from which miracles spring. Cannot leave the mansion's grounds, but that's a minor inconvenience. Tell me who you wish to curse, and I could lead them here. I could force the cross you wish to bear onto them. I believe in my power to perform miracles because you made my miracle reality. So tell me, dear, who will be first? Your second brother, who made that ridiculous painting. Georges. Shall we kill him? He deserves at least that. He brought you even more than enough pain. But if you would rather, you could curse your mother instead, or the woman who set you on this path. Perhaps you would prefer your father. With him gone, you could return home. Ask and I'll perform a miracle for you. I didn't think she was lying either. As ridiculous as the whole affair sounded, the skeleton had disappeared from the tower, and I was hearing a disembodied voice. Beyond that, the voice seemed to have a magnetism to it. Magic truly did exist in the world, and her voice was laced with it. There was power in her words, something that repelled any instinct I might have had to doubt the things she said. So I was on the verge of losing my grasp on reason altogether, believed every word the witch said. I wanted to curse them. Curse my brothers, mother, father, Amy. And the witch was saying I could precisely do that. What it be, my dear? There is no price. Don't require a sacrifice or a dark ritual to perform magic. Simply wish to show you my gratitude. I want you to have what you deserve. Have what you desire. Who do you want to curse? Witch's sweet whispers hung in the air for a brief moment, whispering away. All the muscles in my body tensed up, felt woozy, like the floor was wobbling beneath me. Took everything I had not to fall over. Who did I want to curse? Oh, and you're welcome to choose more than one. All of them, even. I could curse them, and the witch would kill my family. I'd be free. No one would ever know I had been born female. Why don't you just become the new head of the estate? Who would I curse? Who would I kill? Didier, George's mother, father, Amy, all of them? They had exiled me to this place. Have your revenge. Black butterfly fluttered across the room, a single shaft of light, as I stared absently at it. Dozens of memories of emotions flashed in my mind. But in the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. With enough time, everything will go back to the way it was, just like it did for myself and George's. I don't understand. Why would I think of them now? They abandoned me. Left me in that room for 2 years and then left me here for 8 more. They don't care whether I'm alive or dead, so why should I? You made up your mind? I have. And tell me, who will it be? Who would you curse? No one. Cannot curse anyone, Morgana. Surely you jest. I know how much you wish to see them dead. I felt all your hatred, your despair. And you mean to tell me you can't curse them? It struck me just now. But I can't do that to my family. I cannot curse my own family. It's the family you cast aside, that cast you aside, labeled you cursed, and made you suffer for years, and locked you away in this remote mansion. And they don't feel even the slightest bit remorseful about any of it. I understand that. I know they don't give the same weight of the words as to their words as I do. Figured that out long ago. And I'm not alone in my prayers that they don't want the same things I do. That I trusted them more than than they deserved. So why not curse them? Because I don't want to hate them. I don't want to bring them suffering. On the contrary, I want them to be happy. You have no place in that happiness, though. It's happiness that rests upon your misfortune. Why then should you not drag them down to find respite for yourself? I would find no respite by cursing them. I can be sure of that. I certainly found a great deal of it for myself. Trying to follow your conscience, I could see that, but the good is superficial, and all it does is shackle you. Remove the shackles and everything will be easier. Nothing you say can convince me to kill my family. Why not someone who isn't family, then? Surely you can think of at least one person you want to see dead. Oh, I most certainly can. I could kill her 12 times and I wouldn't be enough. But just because I would be happy with her death doesn't mean that there wouldn't be people sad to lose her. Remove one person from a group and the whole thing could come crashing down, all because I couldn't restrain my own hatred. Your concern for them will devour you. Don't think I'm unaware of that. I'm not aware of that. You aren't. You don't know that at all. The only reason you give them any consideration is because deep down you still have hope. But hope has a way of forsaking those who give it a home. You have a problem, and you need to take care of it before it kills you. You and I, we were cut from the same cloth. While you still care for your family now, in time you'll surely curse them. Consider that a warning, Mikkel. Your hatred, your curse, is what brought me back to life. And there's no getting around that. We have plenty of time, though. No need to rush a decision. Show you what it is you truly desire deep down. I'll show you again and again until you finally acknowledge it. Black butterfly hovering by the door disappeared, and the witch's voice grew distant, overwhelmed. I collapsed unconscious. Had I really said what I did out of love for my family? Or was I just afraid of crossing the line? Was Morgana right? Was my heart now home to a terrible monster? If I actually had resurrected the witch with my hatred, Maybe that was what I was now. The darkness seeped down over me once again. Again, I was encased in a pool of despair. Wore at me, eroding me into nothing. If it didn't come up very soon, I would take the witch's offer. Cackling like a demon, I would place a curse on someone. I would kill them. Reviving her was a mistake I should never have made. And now, not for the greater good or anything so noble. No, every time she spoke, a little more of my spirit died. From that day, Morgana's voice became a constant fixture in my life. Curse them, kill them, curse them. She serenaded directly into my ear. No matter where I hid or how deep I put my fingers in my ears, her voice resounded directly in my head. Hearing an incessant stream of curses from a disembodied voice was so unreal, so unbelievable that I felt as though I was being dragged away from the realm of humanity. There's an odd, unsettling magnetism in her voice, allowing her malevolence to seep into me. It's downright torturous. Curse them, revile them. Do you need to be in your right mind, honestly? Your fixation on holding onto your sanity is what's causing you so much anguish. Admit it. There's more darkness, more seething malice inside you than anyone else. That's why you were the one who resurrected me. Admit it. You do want to curse them, don't you? You do want to kill them, don't you? No, I don't. I don't want that at all. I've told you this already. You're so desperate to deny it, Miguel. It can only mean it's true. You'd be able to maintain your calm if we were truly free of guilt. I do not wish to kill Didier or Georges or mother or father. I have no desire to see any of them dead. Constant babbling is messing with my head. Be honest with yourself, Mikhail. You do imagine what it would be like to hold their warm intestines in your... That's a little bit far. Warm intestines in your hand to standing over their bodies. No, I don't. That's not what I want. Don't lie, Mikhail. You climbed the tower, opened the door. You sought me. No, I wasn't in control. No, Mikhail, you were. Enough, I'm done listening to you. Ha! No, don't take your anger out on inanimate objects, Mikhail. Do you even know where I am? Where are you? I'm standing behind you. In front of you. Now I'm beside you. It's playing around with me, mocking me for your own amusement. Not at all. In fact, I consider you a close friend. Why would I mock someone who means so much to me? We're not close. You will come to understand in time that we are very much the same. When you do, you'll also know that I'm the one person who truly understands you. Let it all go, Mikhail. Curse it all with me. Despise it, kill it, make it suffer, and curse it. Just stop. Oh, and where might you be going, Mikhail? Wherever you run, I'll always be by your side. You're gonna pray to God to exercise me? Now that's quite amusing, considering I am the child of... I'm not trying to hurt you, Mikhail, on the contrary. Stop, just stop. I want to set you free from your misery. Can't take any more, just be quiet. Who's there? I'm here to deliver your monthly package. I see. Michelle? Is something the matter? I opened the door and there was there stood a servant. Seemed perturbed at the sight of me. Must have looked terrible. Morgana's voice, her words sapped my spirit dry. A human, a normal human, not a witch or a spirit or demon. I knew good and well that the servant would never do anything to help me. He wouldn't believe a word I said. Oh god. Videos. But at the point, his humanity was enough for me to latch on to. Help me, please. The witch, she talks to me. She never stops talking. I'm begging you, please get me out of here. Let me go back home in your carriage. Please, let me go back. The witch's voice is killing me. I won't go away. I can't escape it. Please, I need your help. You've gone mad. What? You're crazy. See, this is why I didn't want this job. Having to deliver supplies to this damn cursed mansion. Having to get anywhere near the boiling as the youngest child. No, I'm perfectly sane. You sold your soul to the devil. Don't think I'm in the dark after that. About that. I didn't do that. No. You're insane. I'm done with this job. It's not worth all the riches in the world. Not if it means I have to hang around a lunatic like you for even a minute. I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly sane. I'm not mad. Mikhail, your mind is far, far from sound. Won't hear it. I'm not mad, damn it. Which spent nearly every waking moment of every day at my side talking and talking and talking about how mean-spirited humans were, how ugly they were, and an endless loop of vitriol that she never seemed to tire of. Every single day, on and on and on. She made a point of reminding me about myself, everything I was trying to get away from. But as much as I fought to ignore her, to not let the things she said in, she slipped past every wall I put up. Every word warped me. There's no escape. Serious, please stop this, Morgana. Please just stop talking to me. I'm beg of you. Seriously can't take it anymore. Why would you say that, my dear? It's just two of us in this gloomy old house. I don't see what's wrong with it. A little conversation. Your voice, everything you say is eating at me. I care for you, and everything I say is meant to help set you free. So I'll continue saying it. You're allowed to hate the people who wronged you. Don't deserve happiness. Someone who's always smiling for you, someone who's certainly going to betray. Someone who values themselves above all will not hesitate to put others' lives on the line. Someone who covets wealth and power will sacrifice his friends and family to obtain it. So that's, those are the three people that wronged her. These are the kinds of people who once surround yourself with. I've told you repeatedly that I will not curse anyone. Why must you be so stubborn, my dear? I could ask you the same. Why won't you just leave me be? Because I can't stand to see you like this. With one word, I could set you free of the pain. Because you insist on shackling yourself to the idea of family, you're making yourself miserable. We're the same type of person, Mikhail. Type who has the right to curse others. Regardless of what childhood you had and how much you hated it instilled in you, you are a cursed man named after an angel. You never need to realize how twisted you are, and you need to realize how twisted you are, and soon. But I'm not twisted. Do you honestly believe you're still normal? Tell me what's normal about someone who happily embraces a skeleton. Tell me what's normal about someone who hacks away at a girl's face with a knife. You're not normal, and I will repeat this as many times as I have to. You need to accept that. Why must you hold so tight to your sanity? Just let go. You wouldn't have to suffer. No one's gonna come and save you. The only thing you can save anymore is your loathing. We're the same. Nothing like you. I'm not a witch. I'm not cursed. I'm human. I'm human. Man? Yes, I'm man. With that body. Oh, my dear friend. Let me tell you something you should be quite pleased to hear. Do you know what some say about people like you, those who are neither male nor female? That they're like unto God. Like unto God, indeed. You should have been worshipped for your divinity, but instead your family cursed you. You're not human. When the second life was first breathed into you, your fate was decided. No, you're wrong. If I really were wrong, you would not be here now. You'd be back home with your family. Perhaps you would have yourself a pretty little wife, living a normal, happy life together. If you long since strayed from that path, it's well out of sight now. Not. I'm human. I'm a person, a normal person, the youngest son of the boy in your family. I'm an ordinary man. No one, not a single person believed me. Not even the witch was considering me human, never mind my family. Archangel, whose name I shared, looked down on me. The witch tried to drag me into her world. Past constantly ate away at me. I had been imprisoned in this place for far too long. Nothing I could do about my body. All these things combined and threatened to break me. Let out a scream and then stumbled out of the room in a frenzy. I had to get out of that place. Didn't matter anymore that I was forbidden from leaving the property. Just wanted out of my sight. They wouldn't let me come home, then I would run away. That's all I could do. Wanted to get away anywhere that might have the even tiniest bit of light to share with me. I was desperate. Someone, anyone, please. Tell me I'm human. Tell me I'm a man. Anyone. Please, tell me I'm not cursed. But when I opened the front door, a searing light pierced my eyes. Ah! The world quickly went white. I couldn't see a thing, and then my arms began to burn beneath the sun. Black smoke sizzling from the smoke rose from the sizzling flesh. Sickening stench filled the air. Excruciating pain quickly spread to the rest of my body. What? Why am I... Water? I slammed the door shut, restoring the darkness. Gasping and groaning, I trudged back into the house in search of water. When I'm sure the Mitch Morgana I observed with great deal of pity. I don't think you're in need of water. Take another look at yourself. With what little light managed to worm its way into the corridor to guide me, I dragged myself to the chapel again, stopping beneath the pale light through the stained glass window. I wasn't burned. In fact, my skin hadn't even turned the slightest pink. There's nothing wrong with me as far as I could tell. Where had the pain come from then? And then distinct stench of burning flesh. This is your doing, isn't it, Morgana? I know what you're experiencing. Happened to me too. Sometimes, enough emotional distress and despair can cause physical pain. Mind and body are very much more tightly linked than you think, and your mind is far more damaged than you know. Poor, poor thing. You have my sympathy, my dear. Sad little child. Collapsed on the floor in front of the multicolored window, I felt the whole world closing in on me. Or maybe metamorphosizing me. I was completely and utterly cornered, and there's no getting around that. There's simply with one option: stop fighting it, accept the harsh reality before me, make everything easier. The world said there was something wrong with me, and I was the only one who tried to deny it. So in the world's eyes, that meant something was wrong with me. There was something wrong with me. I was abnormal. Irregular. I was mad. I was cursed. I was not human. I was not a man. If I'm not a human or a male, maybe I should just call myself a witch. I did, however, remain firm in my refusal to curse anyone, unwilling to give up that last piece of humanity. Everything else I let go, which took a great deal of weight off me. Stopped caring, and I stopped thinking. No thoughts had empty. I stopped wanting someone to accept me, and I stopped wanting to run away. Sunlight no longer caused me agonizing unseen burns, but in exchange I became emotionally empty. I discarded my faith and my hope, building a shell of cynicism and closing myself within, and in time that became my normal. Began to believe that's what I wanted. Tranquility filled my days. Time trudged onwards. The witch's whispers no longer caused me aggravation. Essentially, none of the thing of note happened in the next 2 years. At one point, a man with an unusual disease stumbled across the mansion while wandering the forest. There's little more to be said about that. For nothing all could have convinced me to care about someone else. Spent much time just sitting by the fireplace. I had covered the stained glass window with drapes, loath to even think about that damned archangel. Stared at the dancing flames, I was able to forget the passage of time. Watching unblinking at the red and orange tongues flicking back and forth. Seemed to spread outward from the fireplace, consuming me. Whether by raging infernos of hell or cleansing fires of purgatory, the thought of being swallowed up and burned to ash by a massive conflagration was quite pleasant, actually. But those visions never became reality. Wah, wah, wah. The fuck was that? Not yet. Tell me, Mikkel, what are you thinking right now? Still not want to curse them? Look at yourself, Mikkel. Look how you're living. Do you really want this life? You ever thought about dying? Mikkel, would you like to die? That's not the right answer. God says that taking one's own life is a sin, after all. It's good, Mikkel. You made the right decision, and I shall be there until the very end, my friend. Honestly, part of me did desire death. I just didn't have enough energy to take my own life. Mind and spirit were too far decayed. Alright. However, in my 10th year, the door opened once more and time sputtered back into motion. When you showed up, Giselle, everything I'd given up on, and everything I thought I'd lost, it all came back. At first, as you know quite well, I was deeply mistrustful of you. I hated having you near me. But if I hadn't met you, in all likelihood, I probably would have continued down that path and became a demon. Alright. Time treks on once again. We seem to me like a rather handsome man. I think I get what they're trying to say. My mental image of a witch is definitely more of a woman. So you're not a witch. To tell the truth, I didn't know who you might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. After taking care of Giselle, I returned to my room. I was, to be quite honest, dumbfounded. And it was naturally the witch who stoked the fire of my apprehension. Why would you let that woman stay here? She came from the Bollinger estate, and we both know how you feel about that family. Chase her out, give her a little scare, and she'll be gone within a day. If you'd rather not, I could always frighten her in your place. A rattling window here, a couple broken glasses there. Small little things that'll accentuate the eerie atmosphere. Are you gonna say anything? Why do you care about her at all? Oh, now don't be like that. I live here too. Why shouldn't I care? I'm not fond of noisy people, or sprightly women like that. That's something we both agree on, right? You don't like that woman, do you? The more a person smiles, the less you can trust them. Oh, I hardly have to tell you that, do I? Stop talking. Aw, no, that's not polite. This is a family matter, none of your concern. It's merely offering to help rid a pest. I don't need your help. I'll get rid of that woman when I'm ready. But first I need to find out her secrets. I have to find out if there's any secrets over here. Then I can go back to living in peace. The pest has no place in your sweet solitude. The world before you now is so much kinder, so much warmer than the one you used to know. Good luck then, I guess. You need a helping hand, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, and by the way, you've changed, my dear. And I like you so much better like this. I always hated how much you reeked of human. You are blessed with a body like unto God. You are personally created by his hands. Could only dream of having what you have. But you only won't want to deny it. Now you act the part much better, a saint resurrected by the closest loving thing to God. Perhaps this could be considered a miracle too. Morgana? Yes? You're a deranged, delusional woman. Why, thank you. Oh god, there's music playing now. Giselle was a woman who smiled a great deal. Her jade eyes seemed to glimmer. Every time she made a new face, and the more she smiled, the more vibrantly she spoke, the more suspicious I became. Couldn't trust someone who smiled that much, especially not a woman. The way she kept trying to be friendly didn't help her that impression either. I had a hard time believing she honestly wanted to get to know me. Couldn't help but think she was trying to fish for information. Anyone who tried to get close to me had some ulterior motive, like Amy, who had done so to satisfy Mother. Perhaps my mistrust had been considered paranoia, but even 10 years later, flashes of that nightmare would still come back to me from time to time. Take more than a few attempts to be nice to me to trust this stranger. Eventually I came to the realization she was hiding something, and I convinced myself it was out of guilt. So I wrote Mother in search of something I could tear her down with to get her out of here. Should have just listened to Giselle rather than Mother or the witch. But I had conflated her with Amy in my mind and was unable to see where the truth really lay. I was only able to perceive her as malicious, so instead of her, I put faith in Mother's words despite Mother never once doing the same to me. My beloved daughter Michelle, I deeply regret having to put you in this situation. Never wanted to let that woman get near you. She's a witch. Terrible, sinful witch. Dreadful, tainted woman. She lay with my husband, will lay with your father. She's a lowly merchant girl who wormed her way into our family. So she... Oh god, what the fuck is that? Why was it so squeaky? Let's see. So she could exploit your father for money. She created a grievous sin of adultery. I tried to have her executed, but your father wouldn't allow it. So instead, I banished her to atone for her sins, unaware that you already lived there. And I could not tell him either, for that is mine and your brother's secret. I pray you find it in your heart to forgive your mother for her failings. Forgive me for delivering a witch to you. Would not be surprised if you tried snooping around. She is a witchless fiend who will do anything for money. Should word of your curse spread, it would surely draw unwanted attention from the church. We have no allies except each other. Michelle, with this letter I included a knife. The blade has been blessed with holy water, which should allow it to eradicate the corrupt evil soul of that witch. So I ask you with all my heart to send that awful creature back to hell. Oh. Well, that's how he got the knife, I guess. It was storming that night. Erratic claps of thunder ripped through the sky. Giselle let out a panic scream, shoving me back, and the look in her eyes kicked into emotions I had thought long lost. I knew that face, I knew that scream, because the face had once been mine. I had screamed with the same utter despair at the world. Back to the way things were. Yep, finally, it's quiet again. Honestly surprised she stayed as long as she did. In a way, her tenacity is rather impressive. Not many would persist for so long in the face of such obvious disinterest. But you know, no one would try to be friendly with you without good reason. Information you carry carries considerable weight outside these walls. But the look on her face, was that really just her trying to put on an act because it revealed her scheming? If you think she was afraid of you, you're mistaken. That's how people behave when their sins are brought back to light. She was screaming, though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. You're not gonna let a woman scream cloud your judgment, are ya? A woman can make a weapon out of anything. Tears, a smile, fear. The day she arrived, you recognized her smile as fake. So surely you aren't gonna fall for this. I'm not falling for anything. I just feel like I know that frenzy panic. Something doesn't add up. Just nothing, my dear. In fact, what perplexes me is why you didn't simply kill her when you had the chance. You're afraid of the sight of blood. Blood of your tormentors has no worth than a wild boar. Should have just sliced your throat without second thought. Although I suppose that would make quite the mess, now that makes more sense. You were not afraid of hurting her, you didn't want to have to clean up afterwards. How very like you. Be quiet. Come on, that woman's finally gone and just the two of us again. You don't want to talk? Silence, please, as you wish. I'll celebrate your accomplishment in silence, my dearest friend. I imagine she's out there, half buried in the cold earth by now. I get chills every time I consider where I'd be if I'd done as Mother said, if I'd killed you, or if out there in the forest you'd succumb to the unforgiving weather. Life had never given me much good fortune, but you coming back and being alive was absolutely a blessing. I'm done, I can't take it, I'm through with this. Alright, this is where she wants to die. Giselle, I do understand. I know very well how difficult, how painful it can be for no one to believe you, for no one to accept you. I know far too well what it's like to want to scream that you're done with this whole damn world. I truly do. That day, for the first time, we saw past the surface. We got to know each other. It was nothing more than a single step. But for us, it was like we had moved mountain. Still remember how light it felt as it shone through the window we opened together. It didn't burn, and while this might sound melodramatic, I felt safe in saying it was probably the gentlest light I had ever felt in my life. Oh, get ready to get blinded. Following my reconciliation with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. I felt a comfort and peace with myself I had never felt before. That may have been the first time I was really human. Having someone else around began to feel normal. Something I certainly would never have. It was incredible. Though to someone else our time together may have seemed frivolous and empty, our conversations meaningless and chatter, I never thought the day would come when someone would laugh at something I said, when someone would smile at the sight of me, however trivial. Seeing Giselle smile made me happy. Aw, darn it, where'd you go off to? Are you here? Are you in the vase? It's all the racket. Something matter. Oh, Master, yes. A cat. A cat? Yeah, not a little cat's been sneaking into the cellar the past few days, so I tried to catch him. If you happen to come across him, don't let him get away. Right. And what will you do once you've caught him? Well, I don't want to punish him, that'd be mean. If he insists on coming back, I'll take him in and teach him how to be a house cat. You mean to keep him? Are you not fond of cats? I don't mind them, no. There you have it. Hope he doesn't take too long to warm up to us. Maybe it'll help if you give him a name. Ooh, a name, that's a great idea. What should we call him, you decide, Master? You want me to pick a name? It's your house, after all, so it's only right you get to choose. I'll try to follow that reasoning. What does the cat look like? He's wild, so he's dirty, I guess. And he's kind of got some spots here and there. Is he ugly? I'd say so, yeah. Alright then, Ugly Speckles Mark II. That's a name? Why on earth would you want to call him that? What does Mark II even mean? It'll be quiet, shut up. It's on you if he runs away, Master. I named this cat Ugly Speckles Mark II. The improved version. My time with Giselle made a normal person out of me. Made me able to tell stupid jokes. Made me get frustrated, surprised, or exasperated. Started showing actual emotion. Our silly, meaningless banter became something precious. My heart of stone began to soften. The world she created for me was what I yearned for my whole life. Having lost half of it imprisoned and spending the other half playing identity that conflicted with everything I had felt in my heart, it was the first time I genuinely felt like I was allowed to be myself. Yeesh, you're not a kid. Don't be so picky. It's not good for you. You make a mockery of the culinary arts. Heard quite enough, Master. Sounds like I'm gonna have to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. Okay. So this is all the interactions. Giselle, though I did my best not to show it, I think that I treasured our time together even more than you did. I had latched onto it, desperately refusing to let go. I needed it, and I needed you. Back in the tower. Oh, so is this gonna be, Is this gonna be the, save her for me, Morgana moment when they're getting trapped? Are you listening, Morgana? I can hear you just fine, my dear. What brings you all the way up here? You know you can call me from anywhere in the house. My bonds to this tower have been broken. This is a conversation we can only have here. It's the place where we first met. It's time for us to part ways. My desires haven't changed since our first encounter. Wish to be a person. To be a man. Exactly. When I'm with Giselle, I am that. Oh no, this is before that. Okay. She makes me into the person I always wanted to be. And now you wish to be rid of me, so you can complete your descent into the realm of the unclean. I do. Ha! Came all the way up here just to say that. Needless formality. Sorry, Mikkel, but we are kindred spirits, so as much as you want to deny it, you could only be you could be second to only God, yet you spurn his gift. Nothing like you. I am a human, nothing more. Shall not condemn you for your unyielding resolve, but rather pity you for being so utterly blind. Allow me to make a prediction before I depart then, Mikkel, cursed namesake of an archangel. You may think you're making some sort of progress, but the fact of the matter is you've gone nowhere. Will that smile of Giselle's be able to withstand your secret? You know better than anyone that no one can accept what you are, not even her. You'll never be with anyone. I understand that. No, Mikkel, you don't understand, but you will soon enough. What you have now is not true happiness. It's empty, naught but a masquerade. When the night's over, the mask comes off. So, what if it isn't permanent, isn't real? Does being ethereal make it worthless? Why can I not have something that doesn't last forever? It's the first time I've ever found joy in my life. Those moments of happiness only serve to worse the loss. Sweeter the honey, the more despair when the pot runs dry, you know? Sooner or later you will return to me begging for my help, which is actually what happened, and I have every intention of giving to you, which she did. I will not hold this over you either, for when you come to me, it'll be in the time of your utmost despair. And when your little paradise finally comes crumbling down, you will become what I am. So I'll take my leave from your side in anticipation of that day. Till we meet again. I heard you heated up some wine. Nah, I'm fine, thanks. Okay, all I did was warm it up with the fire. This is where you were like, did people heat wine? What the fuck? I shouldn't be hearing the witch's voice anymore, so yeah, I'm fine. Oh wow! That's wonderful news, Master. It is. Giselle seemed quite relieved that when I informed her the witch would no longer bother me. I knew she didn't believe in the witch, but that wasn't what mattered. What did matter was that, despite likely questioning my sanity when I had first told her about it, she hadn't tried to pull away. She had been the same as before, never stopped smiling. And that meant so much more than whether or not she believed in the witch. With Morgana's voice no longer constantly in my ears, my life started to feel more approximation of normal. In fact, I would say it was probably happier than most. Nevertheless, I intended to keep a certain degree of distance between us, for what the witch had said rang truer than I want to admit. You'll never be with anyone. Having been born into this body, that was my reality, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I'd come to accept that, or so I thought. I wasn't going to covet what I couldn't have, but I got a taste of this sweet happiness. I'd start to develop a great affection for that smile. And so much as I tried to tell myself I was just getting caught up in the moment, the feelings wouldn't pass in time. I found myself unable to restrain the swelling emotions within me. That day by the fireplace, I thought that's all I wanted from you was friendship, to have you in my life, always nearby. Thought we were simply friends. I'd be able to see that smile, even if you were to learn what I was. That if we were merely friends, you'd be able to accept that. So I would keep these things I felt inside at all costs. However, with each passing day, with each gentle smile, my affection for you swelled. Reached the point where it was hard to keep it contained. All it would take is a slight nudge for it to all come spilling out, and it made me desire what was out of reach. I was convinced I had changed, because this happiness had become my everyday. I had no right to any such thing. But I came to wish that I could be the center of your life. I yearned for you. I wanted you to yearn for me, and like the fool I am, I thought that with you, it might even be possible. Lewd. Honestly, it's no trouble. I mean it. Took me by surprise. Here's the drawing rose scene. I honestly love anything drawn by the man I loved. That one word set me into motion, for I had long since fallen deeply, utterly in love with you. There was no escaping that. Listen carefully. I love you so much that it hurts. Nevertheless, there was no escaping my past, what I was, knowing I could never truly be with you. That I could do nothing about this body, pushed you away. But seeing all the color drain from your face, I knew I had to take that step. I thought that you could change my world. If you really did love me as much as you said, together we could change everything. We could walk a new path side by side. And so I decided to trust my heart. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. I too was elated. Oh shit, I gotta put my censorship boba. My booba censorship. There you go. Giselle, I'm sure you thought I was a kind-hearted man, that my love for you was pure and chaste, and I wanted to be that for you. But beneath the surface lurked indecent desires. Despite saying I didn't want to hurt you, that just having you by my side was enough. My desire bubbled up at the warmth of your skin. I wanted to let that heat take over, to let my hands run free. I could feel it burning inside me. I was horny. I longed for intimacy, not just emotionally, but physically. I wished I could lay you down on bed and satisfy those desires. I wanted to make love to you. Unfortunately, that was not possible. I didn't have the ability, no matter how hard I try. My body lacks the capacity to be one with you. I can pray, and I can long, and I can wish all I want, but my body will never be what I want. I am gray, though I have always known my true color. I have no way of becoming it. My heart has always known what I am, but the world refuses to accept it. Every time I claim I'm normal, 5 say I'm an abomination. Would it really be too much to ask for me to be born normal? Jesus. Telling me to be who I truly am. Is that really so much to ask? Things began to change when I learned my father, Antonin, had passed away. Georges would, I assume, be preparing to take his place. And if what he said was true, then I would be welcomed back at the estate. I would no longer be a demon child, but a member of the Bollinger family once more. Deep down, I thought I could completely believe it would actually happen. After 11 years in exile, I had no idea how they felt about me anymore. Would they even remember a promise they made so long ago? Fear that they wouldn't threaten to consume me, but Giselle, as often seemed to do, put my mind at ease. No matter where I go, you'll be there with me. I'm nervous about what the future holds, but not in a scared that something might happen in the bad way, but more jittery anxiousness. Confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles come our way. Together we can create an even more wonderful future. Can I believe her? Can I have faith in her wonderful future? That she would be there for me? That she would return to the estate and finally move on with our lives? That together we could create a future? No, that wasn't a question. I wanted it. I wanted to believe. Now let's save it over here. It's called Conviction. I wanted to have faith. I wanted to believe as much as she did. I wanted to believe that even if I was gray, I could have a normal life with her. She had rescued me from the depths of hell, and now I wanted to make her happy. After taking the step in our relationship, I made numerous attempts to reveal the truth about what I was, but every time I tried, sharp pain gripped my chest and my words faded into nothing. Oh god, anime. Before they could reach my lips. I knew that if our relationship were to continue, I'd have to tell her eventually, but merely imagining her face twisted and disgustingly crushed me. She was everything to me, and so we prepared for our departure, I decided it was time to make some changes. Time for me to break out of my rut. And what happened next depended largely on whether mother and my brothers were willing to accept me as a man. Of course, my future was in their hands and in their hearts. If they couldn't accept me, then I couldn't return home. Prayed from the bottom of my heart that things would turn out for the best, that my family would accept who I was, and that they would accept what I had with Giselle. Decided I would tell Giselle everything after I received the responses, and I hoped dearly she would join me, wherever I ended up. Can provide Giselle the same kind of happiness a normal man could, aka no pee. But if she and my family accepted me, I would do anything I could to build a happy family with her in my own way. And so I sat down and write, Dear Mother, there is something I wish to tell you, something that means a great deal to me. So I ask of you, please hear me out. I ask of you, please accept it, Mother. I no longer bear any resentment for my previous lot in life, for my present lot in life. Nevertheless, I would ask you to concede one thing, that I was never cursed, that I was always your son, that I am Mikkel and not Michelle. I have found someone who I care deeply for, a woman, and I love her with all my heart. I would like to spend the rest of my life with her. I do not wish for much, simply to have a quiet life with her, to go through the days, man and woman. That is the one thing I want, Mother. I know you're aware that my body is no longer female. I am a man. My heart is male, and I ask of you to please accept that. I have no grudge with you. In fact, I'm incredibly grateful to you for bringing me into this world. With love, your dearest son. But rather than a reply, I received a visit from knights ordered to kill me. Alright, there's the curse. It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? There's more, isn't it? Something else, isn't there? Can you hear me, Morgana? Morgana, say something. Morgana! Your predictions, they were right. I was a fool, and you can laugh at me all you want. So please say something. Death to the Unholy One! Why won't you answer me, Morgana? Why can I not feel you there beside me? You said you would help me when I came for it. Well, here I am begging for your help. Please, come back to me just once. I know you're there somewhere. Please, before they break down the door. Mikkel, I'm alright. It's okay, I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. It's fine. So please, hold me until it's all over. Stay with me. Mikkel, my dear, why would you ever believe that fairy tale nonsense? Why would you ever think that a wonderful future awaited you? Morgana, here you are now, wretched, pitiful. For that you have my sympathy. I will help you in your time of need. Finally you speak. Mikkel, I feel despair emanating from you. You hate it. It kills you. This is how you're rewarded. For fighting to be yourself. You know exactly who sent those knights, don't you? They rejected you, rejected who you are. What you are. Hey Mikkel, are you alright? Your family, unable to accept your body and heart, branded you a heretic and turned you over to the church. Yes, they did. Did you hear what the knights were saying? They even accursed you of being a witch, taken my sin and placed them on you. Come back to me, Mikkel. You hate them, don't you? You want to curse them, don't you? You want to kill them, don't you? I shall grant you that wish. Out of your hatred and despair, I shall make my own wish. That wish shall become a curse upon your family's wicked souls. You'll grant my wish then, Morgana. Yes, absolutely. Tell me what it is you want, my poor little darling. Mikkel! Let your contempt flow free. Give me the names of those you want to curse. I want you to protect her. Excuse me? If they find her, she can be accused of abetting a witch and then executing as well. So please use your power to keep her safe. You said you would grant my wish, did you not? That was not the wish I was hoping for. I know, but that's the wish I want you to grant. Morgana? Then offer me something in return. Such a disappointing wish will require a sacrifice. Step beyond the door, my dear, and witness ultimate despair. That was my plan, anyway. So long as I am considered a heretic and marked for death, my being alive puts Giselle in danger. Indeed it does. Yet here you are shaking like a scared little child. Of course I'm scared. There isn't a single person who doesn't fear death. Please keep her safe. You're the only one who can help me, Morgana. You have my word, then. From the moment, I vow to protect her life. Thank you. Giselle? Please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would come from my life. Never thought I would be able to find anyone who truly understood me. It would make me happy to have my love. For that I hated the world. I was in constant torment living in the shadows. Then a single ray of light shone down on me, Mikkel. It was you, Giselle. You delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless, that it didn't matter if I lived or died. But I can't stop shaking. I mean, that's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but what scares me the most is losing you. So allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything yet. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. This is where he gets insta-stabbed. What are you doing? Get back here, Mikhail. Door, I can't open it. What did you do to the door? I guess you really can perform miracles, Morgana. I know that, but by doing this, I will bring you pain, Giselle. But I can't make you happy no matter how hard I try. I realize that now. Say something, Miguel, don't you? I know you're out there. Please, don't do anything rash. They're gonna kill you if you're out there. Giselle, the witch told me that she would ensure your safety. She isn't real. There's no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. Figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured, she does not lie. Pray that someday she'll be able to get past this to move on with her life. She needs to know that that's what I want. I have to find the right words. I'm pathetic. My voice is shaky. Please listen. You are a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me and a bit of bad fortune. But that's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? So survive, live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this, live your life, and always love your family. I know you can do it. That's my wish for you. I don't want to let you die. There he is, dead to the heretic. Get back in here, Michelle. Open the door. If my choice is to live on without you, I'd rather. Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man, have a wonderful family. Because you have a good family. You have a mother and a sister who love you. If you were to be executed here with me, you'd be marked a heretic as well, and your family would be condemned. I don't want anyone else to suffer that kind of disgrace. But I can't tell you any of that, because I don't want you to look into why I was a heretic. So this is where we part ways, Giselle. Thank you for bringing light into my world. The year we shared together, and the months since our relationship blossomed, have been the brightest days of my life. But if there's a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray that we'll be able to meet again. This time, that we could find each other once more in another world. In a body that better suits me. Except that totally didn't happen, Monka S. Sorry, Mikhail. I thought I was prepared, that I was doing something good, something I could be proud of, that I would give my life with my head held high. But it wasn't long before I realized what the witch meant, what she had warned me about. Oh, was it totally actually Didier as the lead knight? I mean, that would be the ultimate despair, right? If it was her brother. I mean, his brother. Shit. No, it is our holy duty of the church. Why, what are you doing here? Stared up at the night, eyes wide, for the voice from within the helm, Didier. Belonged to my elder brother. You shall not be executed. Do you have any final words? I knew well enough that Mother was not in her right mind, and while her refusal to accept me had hurt, at the same time I had expected it. It made sense to me. In her madness, Mother declared me a heretic and reported me to the church. But Didier. Men wield swords to fight against dangerous creatures, enemies. They do so to protect weak women and children. I am here to protect you and Mother. What are you doing here? Why are you pointing your sword at me? Are you smiling behind that cold steel, frowning, or staring expressionlessly? Though your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept, with enough time, everything will go back to the way it was, just like it did for me and George. None of this is your fault. It's all unfortunate timing. You said that it would all go back to normal eventually. Did your vow have any meaning to it? I spent years in this dark house waiting, believing you would come through for me. So why are you standing here, a half-dozen knights at your back, saying I'm to be executed? Didier. Do not cry, don't you dare cry, Mikhail. You're standing here in front of this door as a man protecting the woman he loves. So you mustn't cry. Who is it you're sentencing to death? Mikhail Boilinger, or a demon child, naturally. Or a witch, perhaps. But why? You're a Boilinger. You're our family, and that's all there is to it. Well, that goes against what you said, Rips. I thought you were brothers. Our familiar bonds have long since been severed, cursed witch. Now I see, Giselle. This world never had a place for me. I was never welcomed here. So many blades pierced my chest. Dedier's sword in my chest, lances in my arms. Oh, so now it's edited to be specifically Dedier's sword. Okay. Could hardly even tell where it hurt anymore. But the pain from within was much clearer. My heart cracked audibly before shattering completely. Don't cry. Tears will only make it more pitiful, so don't you cry, Mikkel. Well, that was a wash. I believed in you, Dedier. When I was younger, I believed in those broad shoulders, muscular arms, and gentle eyes. Everything you said, your simple but pure desire to become a knight. I thought if I could be like you, then I could be proud of who I was. Though that may have faded somewhat after being locked away for so long, my adoration for you never went away. Thought you, of everyone, would accept me for who I am. And I thought you would have celebrated my relationship with Giselle. That you would put those big hands on my shoulders, smile on your face, and say, I'm happy for you. That you would welcome her into the family. That we could go into outings together on cloudy days. Maybe she could make something for us. She's a pretty good cook, after all. Georges would rifle through the baskets before lunch, and Dedier would scold him, and I'd be there watching, a proud smile on my face. As unlikely as or out of reach as I knew it was, I still dreamed of a life like that. I had the faintest hope that when we saw each other again, that dream might come true. Dedier, I put my faith in you. Ripsy. And so my life came to an end, but that wasn't the end of the story. Don't know if what comes next could be called my story, though, but my memories of the event still linger in my soul. After being pierced by his blade, I found myself looking down upon my own corpse. How could I ever imagine that I would be made to witness my own misery, even in death? Watch as my eldest brother dragged me to the place of my crucifixion, and my soul, evidently still bound to flesh, was dragged along with it, against my will, to a nearby village. Okay, are we actually gonna discover who the fuck snitched on whoever? Is this gonna be, like, the reveal of who the fuck messed up in the village? The knights have returned from their holy quests. We've awaited your arrival. How glorious it is to see you. Waiting for us was a cluster of villagers. Holding torches, they formed a crowd around the knights, several of their faces, familiar faces. The men who had come to ransack the mansion were standing there, staring at my body in awe. The Lord's judgment has been delivered, O its Amity. Unto the witch of the cursed mansion, my holy servants. No longer shall we live in fear of the curse befalling us. Eternal peace is resumed. We have assembled all the tools you execute your divine mission. A cost by feeding such a heinous sinner. That witch threatened to curse us, sullied our pure ears with blasphemy. I had done no such thing. I hadn't cursed anyone. I had merely been defending myself. They had been armed and outnumbered me, so I had said what was necessary to scare them off. Our poor harvest and our suffering at the hands of this greedy lord were all the work of the witch. Why then were they acting like I was at fault? Why was I the sinner that needed to be judged? My soul trembled at the overwhelming fervor consuming the crowd, the zealous desire to seek judgment cast. So I prayed, I asked God to grant me the smallest miracle, to let my voice reach my brother who carried my body. Please don't do this, Dedier. Please hear my voice. You know me better than that. You know I've done nothing wrong. Those men smirking at the sight of my body, the ones putting the blame of their sins on me. Please tell me you, at least, don't think that I did those things. Don't put me on the cross. If it was Mother who sold me to the church, then surely you can give me a respectable burial. The nails and rope for the crucifixion are here. We would have you, O knight, deliver the Lord's judgment unto this vile witch. Dedier, why do you say nothing? Why do you accept the tools this man presents you? Tools meant to punish me. Tell me, Dedier. Crucifixion! Crucify it. Crucify the witch. My brother lowered my corpse on the ground and began removing my clothing, and in the very moment I realized the purpose of hanging someone from a cross. Overwhelmed by helplessness, tears streamed down my face. Please, anything but that, I beg of you. Don't expose me to these people. Don't expose my body, Dedier. I beg you. Don't do it. But of course my voice had no way of reaching him, and he proceeded to remove my clothing piece by piece, until I was left fully nude. For a brief moment, an unpleasant silence spread through the crowd. The erratic crackling of their torches was the only sound that could be heard in the square. And then with a mocking laugh, one man spoke. So there it is, the devilish creature. Don't look at me. Please, look away. Just get it over with and burn me now. Burn my body, please. One simple thing was all I was missing. I had a frame like a man, a like breasts of a woman. My heart was male. I was in love with a woman. You sold your soul to the devil, and this is what became of you. This frightful, reprehensible creature. To dare defile the sacred body blessed by God. Was that what people thought of me? Was there no way to make them understand? Could they not possibly imagine how miserable it was to live in a body that didn't fit the image, the shape of your soul? Was there no way to get through to them, even the slightest bit? That all I wanted was to be what I felt? Was that a heinous crime? Please, Zadie, stop. Don't humiliate me any further. Please, just let me depart this world in peace. Carry my body away from this place, that's all I ask. And if you can't do that, then at least burn me instead. Then he placed my body on the cross, bound my arms together at the wrists, and drove a nail through my palms. Couldn't look away. Tried to close my eyes, but I couldn't. My vision remained perfectly clear despite the constant stream of tears, and when he finished attaching my body to the cross, he and several of the knights lifted off the ground and planted in the center of the village square. Villagers showered the knights with praise and gratitude. Not for lack of trying, I was unable to get away. My soul was still trapped here. Daddy didn't say a word the entire time. After a full day hanging there, grotesque blackish splotches began to appear on my lower body. Everyone who saw it grimaced in disgust. The knights, Stadia included, had long since taken their leave, leaving my soul behind, curled up at the base of the cross. Constant stream of tears on my face. Despite all my prayers, I remained bound there, left to rot on the cross in my body. Passers-by threw rocks and spat at me. Children laughed. Mother warned her daughter to always obey God's teachings. By 48 hours, black-feathered birds, maggots, had appeared to devour my rotting flesh. Couldn't imagine any less pleasant sight than my own body decaying in the sunlight, exposed for all to see. A group of children assembled in the square not far from the cross, and soon after, a competition began to see who could take down the evil witch. Gathered all the rocks they could find and started tossing that shit. Stones ripped through my decomposing flesh, exposing bits of bone. Eventually they settled on a winner, the one who had torn the most flesh, and went on their way. Then they were gone. The birds flocked back to take their place. Third day came and went, and at sunrise fourth I received a visitor. A priest. Watch your step, madame. Crucifix is in the way. Is this way. After everything I'd been through, I thought nothing could possibly affect me. I had sunk in as far down to the abyss as I could go. However... Oh, it's Mom. Mother, I knew it was her instantly. She was older and bonier than I remembered. She had bags under her eyes, so dark they looked like bruises. Her once lustrous blonde hair had faded to white. But I would always recognize my own mother. What are you doing here, Mother? Father. In the 13 years since I had last heard Mother's voice, it had grown raspy and weak. There's a distinct traces in it of the woman who had raised me, who had stayed at the house when I was sick. I lacked a physical body. I could feel a deep, chilling, piercing chill at the sound of her voice. Father, this is not my daughter. I did not birth this accursed thing. No, I am her victim. For years I suffered at the hands of this witch. She stole my daughter away from me, tormented me, endlessly tormenting me, trying to ruin me. A demon, you're a demon. I despise you, you foolish, hellish monster. I loved you. You took everything from me. I could never bring myself to hate my birth mother. I feel nothing but revulsion for you. I loved you. An eternity in the fires of hell would be too good for you. I often disagreed with the things you said and did, but I still remember the feeling of your hand in mine, as I lay sick in bed. I have absolutely no relation to this demon. I kept writing you letters, kept pretending to be a girl for you, because I didn't want to hurt you. This is not my daughter. Couldn't stand doing it. Whenever I sat down to write one, I came out a horrible wreck, even worse off than before. But even so, send this monster straight to hell. I didn't want to break you, Mother. I didn't want to push you any further off the edge. Quickly set me free of this cursed thing. But I suppose I still did end up breaking you. Please be at ease, madame. The Lord has heard your prayers. He wants you to cast the demon into the cleansing fires. Wants you to show him that you, as you say, have no relation to this unholy thrall. Gladly, gladly. I'll gladly send this vile creature to the deepest pits of hell with my own 2 hands. Her eyes swirling with every hateful emotion imaginable, Mother took the torch from the priest, tossed it into a pile of straw at the base. The flames crackled and spread, consuming my body and filling the square with the putrid stench of burning flesh. Through the cloud smoke, I could still see a faint smile on Mother's lips. Mother, I'm sorry you had to give birth to me. When the inferno had devoured everything, the cross itself became crumbling down. My soul was finally released from that place, or rather, I suppose it was more shattering. The things I saw, the things I was made to watch, were harrowing. Morgana had been right. The anguish that came after knowing happiness was much greater than anything I had felt before. It eroded my spirit, and drained me of the willpower to bear sight of the world after death. Rather than give up and hate it like Morgana had, I despaired of myself. Didn't curse or bear a grudge against anyone, prayed for my own extinguishment. My soul began to crumble, neither ascending to heaven nor falling to hell, but fading into darkness everlasting. My fingers were the first to go, then my eyes and mouth, all sound vanishing into nothing. My beating heart and all emotions had once taken root within it, scattered like leaves on the wind. My soul completely wholly decomposed. Couldn't stand to allow my soul to return to the living, no matter how much what might take residence in it. Some length of time later, began to hear sound muffled and indistinct. No longer in human form, I had no ears to speak of, but the sound gradually increased in volume. It was a voice. Where are you, Mikhail? What are you doing? I'm still praying. Still wishing for you to appear before me, forever and ever and ever and ever. And ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. Not misremembering, am I? Come back to me soon. As if drawn by the sound of the voice, bit by bit I began regaining some of what I lost. It took an incredible amount of time. My body and soul had been ground to dust. I rejected myself and scattered into the void. It takes several lifetimes for me to even reassemble those pieces. Your fiery red eyes and your stone-colored hair, nothing else. I had thought my mind, body, and spirit and heart had been eradicated, but every time I heard that voice, I thought I must return. I thought is perhaps inaccurate. It wasn't so much a conscious idea as an instinctive force. The voice slowly buried the overwhelming pain I had suffered in both life and death. I began to search for the source of the quiet, constant whispering, echoing the emptiness, chasing after that fleck of light, the only one the world seemed to desire my presence. Cocoon. At long last, I found the ray of light I sought. I had absolute certainty that if I followed it, I would reach the source of the voice. I had to find them, I had to set them free. I desperately had to get back to them what they had given to me, and that sense of purpose is what set me into motion. But the void was expansive, so endlessly deep, and reaching the end of the light trail was not easy. Struggling to follow it to its source wore my barely held together soul thin until it crumbled once more. Again and again I lost myself. Can't account for how much time I spent chasing the light, big memory gaps and all. Nevertheless, after cycles and cycles of breaking down and reassembling myself, hundreds of years of wandering, I finally found my way back to the mansion. This mutilated body. And when the two of us had finally had our long-awaited reunion, neither of us were our old selves any longer. In my endeavor to return, I had worn my soul down to almost nothing. It was but a vague shadow, completely devoid of memories. And that was the beginning. We met each other anew, lost and broken, devoid of life. The darkness here reminds me of my time in the void, of despair that filled my shattered soul as it sunk down this abyss, of the emptiness I felt as my body crumbled and faded into nothing. Mikkel, the poor soul who was named after an angel and born with a curse, made to bear an unfairly cruel fate. I'm the only one who sympathizes with you, the only one who understands your pain, the only one willing to help. I'm sure you're not feeling particularly fond of me right now, not after I made you relive the past you so wanted to forget. Every moment of that despair, not after I revealed your every last secret to the woman you love, but you must face the truth, my dear. You put your life, your very soul, on the line for this woman, and even she would not accept you. But as I said before, that's the normal response. She's no worse than anyone else for it. Simply aren't something people can accept. You believe that even if your family wouldn't, that even if your dear brothers wouldn't, Giselle would be able to accept you. That she would be different. That she alone would be special. That she alone wanted you in her life. That she alone would extend her hand to you. Never doubted that, did ya? But Mikhail, hope exists to be crushed. And the stronger you cling to hope, the more you have to lose it. You can hear that, can't you? Her mocking you, scorning you, rejecting everything that defines you. The revulsion in her voice. This is the woman you fought so hard to get back. Listen to it, my dear. Focus on her voice. Disgusting. Disgusting. Kimochi warui. Stop, please. I don't want to hear it anymore. Make it stop. Can you blame her, though? For hundreds of years, she waited, trusting you. And you came back to her woman more than once. If you think about it, you betrayed her first. No, stop. I didn't. Tell me then. What was it like? How did you feel to be born and live as a woman? You spent your life insisting you weren't. Yet your soul chose a female body to return in. All those gaps in your memory were from lives as the white-haired girl. First, there was the kind, mild-mannered, flaxen-haired boy. You, a woman, and he, a man, were joined in love. And then there was the utterly deranged man-beast. By exposing your female body to him, you were able to temporarily contain his madness. Finally, there was the man obsessed with money and power. You were his wife, ever faithful, waiting patiently for him to remember his love. You put your faith in the wrong person's love. How can you expect her not to be disgusted? She was forced to watch again and again, as the man she loved was reborn as a woman and had relations with other men. Relations. Would you like to know what you're doing right now at this moment, Mikkel? You're crying. Crying as you would have done many times before. Those tears, they wash away your dignity. Would you like to know how you look right now, Mikkel? You reverted to your final moments, both in body and heart. Take a look at yourself, my dear. Your body, incomplete, only partially male. The wound still fresh and raw, pierced by your brother, whom you completely trusted. And the nights whose ranks you dreamed of joining. Even now your blood still flows from those wounds. They never heal. Not as long as you remain yourself. Oh no. Blood. Turn down the blood filter. What's wrong with you? It's not pleasant, is it? Hurts quite a bit, doesn't it? Did not inflict those wounds on you, though. They are your own. No one can erase them. Lost everything, Mikkel. Tell me what you have left. You're robbed of your pride, dignity, life, and identity, your very existence. And the love you thought you still had, well, she's gone and left you behind, too. You still refuse to curse anyone. Why do you not take what you deserve from those who stole everything from you? You have every right to vengeance, and I'm offering you the means to have it. Curse them, my dear. I cannot curse anyone. You disappoint me, Mikkel. But if that's what you want, if you won't join me in my hatred, then so be it. I'll accept that we're not as similar as I once thought. And as much as it pains me to do so, I will release you. I'll even wish for your reconstruction into the body you desire. Shall descend into mortal realm as a human man, never to set foot in this cursed mansion again. Imagine it. After waiting for so long, you're finally able to obtain the body you so desperately seek. To have a wife and create a happy family of your own. Wouldn't that be lovely? Make that wish for you, my dear. You can have that life. All you have to do is walk out the door. It's that easy. Just let go. Let it all go, Mikkel. Oh shit, do I get the choice? Oh man, I do. Oh wait, I waited long enough. I did it again. Yeah, I did too. I was like, I only get one choice. This has happened before. Don't listen to her. Oh, it's a glowy blobbo. Don't trust anything she says. Oh wait, not that one. Let's save here. Don't trust anything she shows you. Mikkel, you told me you believed in my love. That if I could survive for hundreds of years must be real. So don't start doubting it now. Oh, it's so blinding. Oh shit, it's the huggy thing that people do. Open your eyes, Mikkel. Look at me. Listen to me, please. Listen to the sound of my voice. Well, you listen to what I really think. How I actually am. I would never ever push you away. Do you remember what I said, Mikkel? When you broke through the cocoon, I'd built around myself. I said that I would never come to hate you. Still stand by that. My feelings haven't changed in the slightest. Doesn't matter what kind of past you had, or what kind of secrets you kept. Still love you. You accepted me, Mikkel. Spent hundreds of years trapped in this place, watching as tragedy after tragedy befell its residents, slowly losing my grip on myself until I had been twisted so far I could tell them like stories with a cold smile on my face. Despite what I became, you still took my hand. Still said you loved me. No matter what horrors you've experienced, I will always and forever take your hand. Mikkel! Giselle, please have faith in me, Mikkel. Don't believe what the illusions say. Believe me, believe the real me, believe in the me that believes in you. You have it. No. The truth is, I wouldn't doubt it though, because I mean they used the gasp. Like, I'm already like about some of these like lines. The truth is, I never once doubted you. What? I never doubted your love. Mikkel. I despised myself. I hated that I was so weak. I couldn't even bear being rejected by a phantasm made to look like you. I didn't want you to see me like this. I didn't want you to know I was so weak. To see my past, to see me now, a pitiful and sightly mess. Couldn't stand the thought of you seeing any of that. If only in your memories, if only for you, I wanted to be gallant, to be a man. I wanted to be the man who never cried, who never showed weakness, and who died trying to protect you. I didn't want you to know that I was so weak, that I was such a sad, frail person, and not even a real man. Mikkel, I didn't want you to see that. Morgana was telling the truth. I opened the door to our past in order to bring you back, but I wasn't the whole story. Kept details about myself out, things that would make me look bad. There's no one as shameful and reprehensible as me. No, Mikkel. There's no one in the world who is as admirable as you. You remained true to yourself in the end, no matter how bad things got. Day after day you fought all alone, despite being put through hell. Yet you chose not to curse those responsible. Only once did you ever consider cursing someone, your father. I remember that day very well. I was too stupid to realize at the time, but you did that for me. The one time you ever tried to curse someone was for me. Give yourself a little bit more credit. You did it perhaps come off a bit unscrutable, but deep down you're truer to yourself than anyone. Your motivation's simple and pure. Your heart full of kindness, know that you're a wonderful, admirable man, Mikkel. Be proud of who you are. That doesn't change how much suffering I put you through, Giselle. I was the white-haired girl. The girl in the portrait was me. It was all me. Came back more than once. Growing up as a woman, then disappearing again, hurting you completely unaware, pushing you away, leaving nothing but tragedy in my wake. I'll never forgive myself for what I did to you. Smiles! Have faith in yourself, Mikkel. Follow your heart. I know it was a secret you didn't want revealed, but for me, I couldn't be happy to know the truth, because it shows just how incredibly much you love me. And not only in life, the hundreds of years I spent trapped in this mansion, you spent searching for me. In that vast, empty, hopeless void, you heard my voice. Your love guided you to me. When you had lost everything, your love for me still lived on. Even as it tore you apart, you kept fighting to make it back to me. A few blanks in your memory don't account for someone so fiercely determined could suddenly become a completely different person. But Giselle, how am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe that wasn't me, when everything else is exactly the same? You are not the white-haired girl, Mikkel. Have faith in your own heart and things you stand for. Faith in your true self, in the person you are, the shape of your soul. You were never the white-haired girl. You never will be. Remember when you first arrived at the mansion, Mikkel? I took your hand. Together we watched different lives play out. Were you playing? Were your memories anywhere among them? It wasn't behind those doors you found yourself, but in the remnants of the months we shared here. Was the white-haired girl anywhere in your memories? You are Mikkel, no one else. That doesn't change what my body. I know you, Mikkel. I know you deep down. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I want you to understand that, to know how I feel. Though we only shared our love for a month in life, it was enough for me to wait hundreds of years for you. And you fought with everything you had to make back to me, to get me out of here. You are the greatest man I have ever known. Dilla, how's it you always manage to see straight through me, to give me exactly what I want. Smile, the single ray of light in the endless darkness. To say exactly what I've desperately yearned to hear, the words I've sought for countless years. Giselle, I reach out for her, but she's begun to fade, her outline hazy and blending with the surroundings, and all I manage to grab is empty air. I want more than anything to feel her warmth right now, the sensation of her skin against mine, but there's nothing there. Please, don't leave my side again. Don't worry, I'm right here. Not going anywhere. Put your hand on my shoulders. Wrap your arms around me. I can't. I want to so much, but I can't feel you there. At all. You can, I promise. Just close your eyes. Darkness. Now reach forward slowly. You can feel me there, can't ya? That's my fingers, and that's my hair. Those are my eyes. Ow. And here are my lips. Blah, 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 blah. Here's my heart, where I keep all the feelings you gave back to me, and my love for you. In body and spirit, I'm all yours. Can you sense me beside you? I think I can. Now hold on to that and don't let go. It's kind of funny. We're like two awkward kids around each other. Bound together by love so amazingly powerful, yet we only ever held hands a few times, and embracing is like an incredible achievement for us. And we're supposed to be full-grown adults. Kisses. We never got the chance while we were alive. Or are you gonna tell me to wait again? Not this time. This woman who accepted me as a man, who even in death continued to bring me back from my darkest places, she is my everything. I feel a faint breath against my neck, somewhere between a sigh and a giggle. I feel her warmth, which I thought I'd never know again, the soft touch of her lips. I envision her face before me, where I'm sure she is, with her closed eyes, and I press my lips against hers. This quick, clumsy affair, just a peck, not the kind of kiss two grown adults might expect it to be share. But nonetheless, gentle warmth spreads through my body from the place that our lips touch. It's a sensation so pleasant and nice, I can hardly believe it's real. In the meantime, Morgana just hanging out watching this play by with like popcorn, I guess, waiting for her time to say something. Our surrounding dissolves and the world takes a new face, placed a tranquil light created by Giselle, into which the mansion's darkness slowly seeps. Difference, now I'm not afraid to step back into it. All it took was a single irreplaceable moment to change my everything. But I can't see her, I can feel her presence right beside me. Her heart, and that she can feel mine too. Won't falter anymore. Through hesitating, wavering about my fear in my own weakness, look to the future. I'll believe in myself, because she believes in me. She believes in the me. Done carrying the chains created by myself. I have work to do. No more looking away from my responsibility. As the light dims, the darkness takes over. Hear my voice in my ear. Mikkel, can I ask to lend your hand to someone? Set me free, and I'd like to do the same for her. There's something I don't think anyone else can do. Only you can rid the mansion of its darkness. Here with you too. Let's open the final door together. The true final door. We can put an end to all this tragedy. I know we can. Off we go. Don't let go of my hand. Oh hey, demon blood door. Oh. Giselle. Reality fades back into view, looking at neither the endless darkness nor the visions of my past, but the sea of blood spreading from all directions. Standing at the top of the observation tower outside the door, I returned, back in Morgana's world. Her bitter, hate-filled, curse-fueled world. Tell you the truth, I didn't see this coming. It's my mansion, my domain. She was supposed to be locked up. But see, my will is not as absolute as I thought. What would you call that? Power of love? Is that what allowed this to happen? How trite. Where's the magic, the miracle? I can think of one other reason she was able to escape. It's the only way you'll be able to find the power we need to cast off the darkness in this house. But first, before we do anything else, we must open the door. Whatever nonsense that woman filled your head with, it certainly seems to put some fight in your eyes. Well, good for you, then. A little confidence boost doesn't erase the fact that you were on the ground, crawling like a filthy worm. tears streaming down your face as you try to ignore what lay before you. Little self-esteem isn't gonna help make you any less helpless when you step through that door. But that won't stop me from trying. You're done acting like you're some inevitability, some force of nature. It's time for me to take a stand, Morgana. There around the door has a distinct chill to it as I place my hand against the wood surface. My arms, once bloody and lacerated, are now whole again. I can feel my entire body. Everything is back in its place. Take a deep breath. Lift my hand and focus on gaze on the door. Push it open. Resting on the back of my hand, I feel another palm, soft and warm. Through the single window standing high atop the wall shines a ray of light. A black butterfly flutters within the beam. Its form is indistinct, wavering like a mirage as it slowly descends to the tower floor. And then from within the darkness, a person appears. Ah. Well, I mean, what a way to position yourself, I guess. Just try not to play the witch card too hard, man. Is that you, Morgana? How does it feel to finally meet the real thing, my dear? I knew you were young, but you really are still a child. Having heard her tale, I know she died as still a girl, and I know how she came to bear so much hatred for the world. But knowing and seeing are two very different things. The sight of her bony adolescent body is a painful reminder that she never had a chance to know happiness, to know adulthood, before being robbed of life. I'd assumed monster would be your first reaction. What a face. And a body like this. Oh shit, she got a bone hand! Bone hand. Very sweet of you, Mikkel. So tell me, what exactly do you mean to do now that you're here? Your ultimate goal was, as I understood, to take Giselle back, and she's no longer here for me to return to you. She broke out of my cage, and exhausted what remains of her soul to show herself to you. Cannot perceive even a trace of her presence any longer, so I presume her soul shattered, dissipating into nothing. No, she's right here. Is that so? Seem to believe as much anyway. Which only makes your presence here a bigger mystery. Oh, I know. You want revenge. Made you miserable while you were alive, and I continued to torment you in death. You entrusted me with Giselle's life, and I used you for my own ends. You must despise me. Heh, hatred fills you. You would curse me to kill me. My death would mean the end of it all. Shall I grant you that wish? She flicks a finger. Next, a long sword. Really, a long sword? Clatters to the floor at my feet. Take this blade in your hands, unlike the knights of old who executed the witch. Pierce my heart with it. Do now what should have happened back then. You always wanted to be a knight, didn't ya? Go on, pick it up. Show me your revulsion, my dear. Gone, I do have a reason for being here. Came to save you. Did you hit your head on the way up, dude? Came to save who? Spent so long trying to look away when I should have been trying to look deeper. Tell you the truth, your constant chattering in the darkness evoked more than annoyance in me. I empathize with your loneliness. I bear no hatred for you. It's my despair that brought you back to life, so that makes it my responsibility to end it. My own wish has given me all the redemption I need, my dear. Should I be expecting another self-righteous lecture about how hatred does no good? Brilliant, Mikkel, brilliant. Do you have any idea how absurd and presumptuous you're being? Trying to force your idea of redemption on someone who has no interest in it. The tale you showed me is the whole truth, and I would have said you could revile those heartless men as much as you pleased. But I refuse to believe that's the whole story. The men I saw beyond the first 3 doors had genuine concerns and worries. They felt things, real human emotions, even if those things ultimately led them down a path of destruction. Wanting to do something nice for you, for the one you care about, being disgusted as things you've done, and hiding your urges from those around you. Someone couldn't call them good men, but they weren't real. They were real people with real conflicts. So you're saying I'm lying? Well, I can't say I blame you. Who would want to believe the word of a witch? I don't think you falsified your account, Morgana. Tragedy, the grisly reality you described, I don't doubt any of that happened. You wouldn't be here otherwise. But I learned something in my years. Reality exists from more than one perspective. That didn't change what happened. That two-faced young man deceived me. The beast severed my arm, and the greedy, power-hungry lord used me for his own personal gain. Events by themselves do not tell the whole story. Only when you take into account their circumstances, what they thought and felt, their perspectives, only then can you reach the truth. Your point. You gonna march down there where their souls are and ask them for their perspective. Don't waste your breath. They'll only tell you what benefits themselves. And we do it our way. We open the door to your past. And if I refuse, this is my domain, my world. It operates in accordance to my will. Door won't open unless I allow it. Were you aware, Morgana, that I recovered my first memory in front of the mirror? You what? The same mirror Giselle used to practice her smile, and in all those hundreds of years, bits of her memory came to reside within it. Every time she stood before the mirror, she had me in her heart. The next, I saw one of my own memories play out in my bedchamber. It was the first day when we opened the windows, when she let the morning sun into my room. That day was a turning point in my life. Why are you telling me this? Because it means this world doesn't belong to you, only you. It's also hers and mine, and that is why she was able to break free. Your wish is without question the most powerful of anyone here, and you have more authority over this place than anyone else. No denying your position as master of the mansion. But Giselle and I, we too have influence over here too. I was the one who resurrected you, and she was the one who served your guide. So the door will appear, whether you want it or not. Soldiers side here as well. They may spin convenient tales, but the memories ingrained upon their souls can tell no lies. All the pieces are on the board. The door will open. Say, the door does open. What will that change? Nothing those men have thought or felt can take back what they did to me, this rotting, broken creature they turned me into. I don't care what is going through their heads. They never have my forgiveness. My hatred is unwavering. My wish will not be undone so easy. Their soul shall suffer for all eternity. Before we begin, Morgana, let's get one last lingering question out of the way. What's that? Who the white-haired girl is? Oh. 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 Was the white-haired girl actually Morgana? Ooh, that's your lingering question? Well, we established. That was you, Morgana. Ha 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 ha. So you're in desperate plea to deny you came back as a woman, and you're trying to make me into her. That's perhaps the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That was you, my dear. Don't avert your eyes. You must face reality. Not averting my eyes, and I'm not in denial. I have faith. Faith that I only ever made it back to the mansion once, when I awoke in this rocking chair by the fireplace. Ha, nevertheless, that hardly justifies accusing me of being that foolish girl. How could you possibly think I was her? Never have I not been present in these walls, nor even when she was alive in the cause of tragedy. My hair is not white, nor my eyes red. And look at this horrid, festering face. How could I ever become her? How your soul appears is irrelevant in this case, Morgana. I will uncover the truth about you, things you don't know. And if you can show, in fact, you were the white-haired girl, in that moment, your reality will be unwritten. If you're so confident, go ahead. Find out just how little you're capable of. Oh my goodness, we gotta continue playing through the other people. Black just fills the conversation once more. Morgana fades in the distance, leaving me in the dark stream. It's darkness I've seen before and consumed by numerous times since the arrival in the mansion. But this time I welcome it, praying that beyond it lies the truth, the power to release all from the house script. The next tale has no narrator. I won't sit back and listen as someone else recounts the path for me. Now I have to find the path for myself. Not know what awaits me beyond the black, but no matter what, as long as I have the power to provide redemption, I must never put down my sword. Let's open the door, the final one. Demon Child, the final door. Question marks. Oh, good. Alright, so we're starting from already captured Morgana. Got it. I brought you some food. You have to eat something. Barely touched your foods yesterday. Come on, please. Just leave it there. Hands aren't bound. She can eat whatever she pleases. But she's not gonna last one longer. Boy has a point. She won't eat. We lose a supply of blood. That's not what I meant. Just leave it there. Well, we'll be back. Oh hey, it's girl. Who could girl be? Do I really have to go? Yeah, things are pretty hectic right now. When do you suppose you'll be back? Tomorrow, same as today. And you'll have enough time to talk then. Will you? Yeah. Are you hiding something from me? You're kinda acting funny. You're my sister. Oh, hey, it's a sister. Wouldn't keep anything from you. You're not yourself, though. What's so different about me? Well, you're not acting much like a prince. Oh, right, of course. Don't worry, I'm still your prince, same as always. Good night, Nelly, my princess. How'd I end up in this mess? Never wanted this. All I wanted was a quiet life. Someone get me out of here. Take this thing far away. Tell me I'm not the bad one here. I'm begging you. Just make it all go away. Someone, anyone. Get me out of here. Oh, hey, it's a nun. Look, look! The stars are beautiful. Though with the bright out, I worry someone might see us. Is that Japanese? What is this voice? Is this all they're like talking? What is that? I hope so. Are you ashamed? A little, but I still want to be with you. You ever considered leaving the convent? Can't just stop being a nun, you know? It's not that simple. Made vows, sworn my life to the service of God. Was not aware. I don't know much about this land's traditions. If I were to leave the church, it would have to be in my next life. I'd like to be a normal girl, lead a normal life. Get married, have kids. Before I know it, I'm an old lady. Thinking, it was an uneventful life. But it was the best life I could ask for. That's my dream. That sounds peaceful. Hope we can be together in our next lives too. Have a nice quiet life together. There'll be a city on water. Looking over a beautiful glimmering emerald sea. Blue skies spreading as far as the eyes can see. Sound of the bluebirds squalling by the port. Two of us sitting shoulder to shoulder, looking over the city. Doesn't that sound nice? It certainly does. I would love that. Meanwhile, here's the Lord Boy. The Harvest Festival. On the day of the festival. 3 days until her death. Well, that's a weird way to lead up. I mean, at least that sounds short. Wake up. Please wake up. Come on. Open your eyes. Mikkel. So bright, I'm outside. It feels like needles in my eyes. First thing I see beyond the mansion's darkness is blinding light. The sun glows mercilessly overhead. A gentle breeze blows past. I can hear birds. Each breath I take fills my lungs with the scent of earth and grass. So much time's passed since I've seen it in the light. I almost feel like I'm alive again. Not almost. What's going on? What on earth is this? The era that Morgana lives in? Mikkel, huh? Oh, hey, Ghost Giselle. Oh, thank goodness you can hear me. Good morning, Master. Hope you slept well. Giselle, is that voice really you? Yep, it's 100%. Not that mean old phony. So don't worry. I believe it's you. I just was not expecting to hear you again. I did say I would always be by your side. Relieved. Huh. Well, where are you, Giselle? Can't see you anywhere. Well, I'm not exactly sure myself. You don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's pitch black around me. Like a black smoke, turning in the darkness. Feels like inside the mansion. I don't know if... I don't think I'm actually in the mansion. So you're still trapped in the void, then. I can see light off in the distance, fog, and hear sounds from it. It's like the outside world is leaking through the light. I can see the trees rustling, the birds singing. Can't see you, though. So I assume I'm seeing it through your eyes. And I thought... I tried to get your attention. So that means you can see everything. Seems like it. I don't think I can see it as clearly as you do, though. Wish I could be here too. Experience it in my place, even. It's a bizarre sensation. But I could see and feel the world through the other doors, strictly in the capacity of an observer. We were merely watching, not actually present. And this time, it feels like I've been resurrected. And dropped in as a participant. It's vivid. Everything the mansion lacked, it's all here, and it feels so clearly. Wish you could experience it. It's okay. You'll dispel the darkness, right? Yep. More than happy just being able to hear your voice, being able to see what you see. It's like a miracle. I too am glad to know you're there, to have a chance to hear your voice again. Thank you much for saving me. If you hadn't showed up, I wouldn't be here. I should be thanking you. I was overjoyed to hear you really cared about me that much. So many things I want to say right now. So many things I want you to know. So many thank yous. So many I love yous. Oh, the huh? Hey, is that the best response you got? Surely you could do better. You're embarrassing me. I am somewhat disappointed about one thing, though. Can't get any hugs or kisses if I'm not there in person. Oh, come on. You're not very good at this, are you? And you're not very good at picking up on how much you're embarrassing me, dude. I'd expect at the very least of me too. We should start by figuring out where we are exactly. You're not even trying, are you? Doing the best I can. Please don't ask anymore. It's okay though, I might not be able to see you, but we're working together either way. You know, I think I might be able to help too. While I can't be there in person, I can give you ideas, another point of view, when you're not sure about something. Two of us together, we'll find a way through this. Yes, we will. Where to begin? Where to say we got our bearings, exactly. Not a bad idea. This Trask will tell you the truth. I assume we would just be observers, like with the other doors, searching memories for clues. Never expected I'd actually be thrown into the era. True, it's not like other doors. No matter how the rules change, seen it through to the end. If our guess is correct, we arrived at Morgana's past. And we need to uncover the truth behind these events. Or, three-man circumstance. What they felt, what drove them. My gut's telling me there's something to be found there that even Morgana doesn't know. Could be wrong. It's possible that if I am right, we won't find anything to quell her hatred. We won't be talking her out of it, that's for sure. Words won't break through any kind of animosity. We need something bigger, something she could never imagined. Something that could turn her entire worldview on its head. Whitehead Girl might be a good place. She showed up at the mansion again and again, as though led there by supernatural force. She was involved with the three men in some way. Can't think of anyone with such deep ties to both the mansion and the men. But at the same time, I have a hard time convincing myself the Morgana we know and the girl, white-haired girl, could be the same person. They are about as different as two people can be, which actually leads me to believe there's something there. There must be something. Some secret we haven't figured out yet that we could use. So let's find it. Won't be easy. If we are in the past, though, I wonder if we could change it. This could be a huge chance. Yeah, we could prevent Morgana's death, and we could stop whatever led them down the path. That's an idea. It's actually possible we might be able to do something. Question is this world really real? I'm getting pumped. Gotta get my game face on. I'm ready to do this. Figure of speech, though. First, we gotta find the mansion. Morgana should be at the top of the observation tower, and the three men shouldn't be far off either. So where are we? Never left the mansion, so I don't know about that. Give me a spin. Buildings in a city. I think that might be the village I stayed at for a while. It's a bit big for a village. Don't you remember what Amity said about the village history? Oh, that bastard. Mikkel, you didn't think something uncharacteristically vulgar just now, did ya? Wouldn't dream of it. Yeah, he said it was much, much larger and that it was destroyed in a single week by the witch's curse. Except, rather than a curse, it's probably just disease. If it's the same city, then it fits what Morgana said happened. I believe he also said something about a large bridge on the outskirts of the city, and that following the path would lead to the mansion. So let's head to the city. Alright. You don't sound enthusiastic. You're nervous so you might have to talk to someone? Don't worry, you got me! Don't treat me like I'm antisocial. You're not. No, that's not what's bothering me. Something about this whole thing feels weird. This world we're in. Never mind. Probably overthinking. That's not time for things like that. Let's go. Each step compresses the grass. Go into the city. Oh, hi, Mal. A white-haired man has appeared out of nowhere. And he's talking to himself. Gotta get away before he does something. Hold on right there, Mel. You don't get to call me crazy and then just run off. How do you know my name? How, why wouldn't I? We're just in the mansion together. Mansion? What are you talking about? Right, he hasn't become aware of the shadow in the mansion yet. I doubt I would forget to summon us in neutral, it's you. Who are you and where did you come from? Where? I don't know. Say something, Mikkel. He's not getting any less suspicious of you. Gotta come up with a way to break the tension. Oh, I actually got a choice. I am God. I was sleeping in the tree. Is this where the real game begins? Was everything else before a setup just for this? Was that 20 hours of setup? I was sleeping in a tree. Here, look how you just pop out of nowhere. You imagined it. It was so sudden, your mind misinterpreted what you saw. Was that too much of a stretch? Yeah, you're right. Must have been seeing things. People can disappear out of thin air. When I say like that, you'll climb a tree and take a nap too, and then roll over and face flat. Mikkel napping in a tree. Can't even imagine. Also, it seemed that Morgana, the only one who could hear Giselle's voice. That doesn't explain how you know my name, though. You know, you looked a lot like a acquaintance of mine. Imagine my surprise when it turns out you have the same name, too. That's definitely pushing it. Oh yeah, that happens to me every now and then, too. Oh, you had me spooked there for a second. Well, on one hand, I'm glad he bought it. Maybe he's too trusting. Kind of guy who keeps on walking when he runs across something out of the ordinary and pretends he didn't see a thing. Not the most admirable trade, but we're in the clear. Assuming you're from the city then, are you? No, I'm a wanderer of sorts. Oh, huh. Then, did you not come by to see the Harvest Festival? Harvest Festival? You don't know about it then. 3 days from now, we're holding a festival. Celebrate the spring harvest. 3 days? Morgana died when the bell tolled noon on the day of the festival. Which means she got that much time left. This will be the first time we've held the festival, so we're hoping to make it a big event. Something real memorable. And a young girl dying behind the scenes of this seems some seemingly unpleasant celebration. Her death is 3 days from now. That gives us enough time to do something, I guess. Show me the way to church. I'd like to join on the festivities. Sure, yeah, of course. Church doors are always open. Friends and families, wanderers alike. It's not far, follow me. Didn't occur to me until now, this is a strange experience. Boy from a completely different time period, who I never met, had the opportunity to meet either. And he's here, then presumably the others are here too. Which means Morgana's wish for the reconstruction was actually granted. Smell doesn't seem like any different person than the one I observed through the first door. Yet he plays a part in Morgana's imprisonment. Have trouble believing he would voluntarily make that choice. Scared for a minute there. That could have gone worse. Plus, you managed to make contact with Mel in record time. Interacted with him and the others before, so I guess that doesn't feel strange to her. Oh, you don't want him to hear yourself talking yourself again, right? That's why you're not saying anything, huh? Actually, I think I can talk to you when I'm speaking. Can you hear me? How are you doing that? I've experienced talking to ghosts. That really drives home how bizarre things were for you in the mansion. Were you not in similar circumstance when it was you and Morgana together? Yeah, actually, you're right. What a bizarre time we've had. So what's your impression of him? Same Mel as always. More detail? He's an unbreakable young man, nice enough to show a complete stranger around. I agree. It's Morgana's version of the story he betrayed her. But it doesn't seem like the kind of person who would enthusiastically do so maliciously. He had to have some reason. We need to figure out what that was. Question is, how do we do that? Hardly have enough time to earn his trust and convince him to tell us. Just to put the knowledge we have to good use then. That reminds me. Something that might explain it. Nah, but Morgana, when you were alive, she was always there with you, right? Whatever struck her fancy, yeah. She didn't seem to care when or where. She'd just start talking. Whatever. For the most part, yeah. Anytime she wanted. Giselle? Dude, you don't have to worry about that with me. I know when to keep my mouth shut, promise. What? You said you feel like you're alive again, right? My five senses are all working. Which means you'll also be getting hungry, tired, sleepy, you know. You'll have to go to the bathroom, gee. I'll be polite and close my eyes and plug my ears while you're doing that. Thanks. What possessed her to bring that up? Does she even realize what she's saying? Oh gosh, I'm red as a tomato. Well, that answers that. Moving along. We need to discuss how we're gonna go about this. Festival is our deadline. This means we have much time. We're gonna plan for when we arrive at the mansion. How about we spill their secret? Tell everyone about the girl they've locked up in the tower and force them to set her free. Surely they wouldn't stand a chance of that. Would anyone believe me, though? If I walked in, said I came from the future and know what's gonna happen, would anyone actually buy that? Sure. Even if we did manage that, the tower was locked in Morgana's rendition of the tale. Need 3 keys to get in. Mel should have 1, but stealing the others, stealing his alone won't be enough to get in the tower. True. Giselle's right, we can save Morgana and change the future, and then that would solve everything. Something about this whole situation doesn't fit right with me. I have to do more than just set her free. I have to find the truth as well as I initially set out. Regardless, I have to try and stay on everyone's good side as much as possible. Appreciate it. Conversation's not my strong suit. Which means it's my job to hit the brakes whenever you say something stupid. Anyway, get to the mansion. Zoom in. We're almost there. See the big building? That's the church. The same mansion, I expect. Seeing it now, knowing the horrible things happening there, so disheartening. Are happening as we speak in the tower that we see in the distance. Morgana's locked up there all alone. Wish we could just march up there and set her free. Getting to the tower is our only goal. We could force our way in with a little work. Something matter. I could probably overpower him for the key. Hello. On the other 2, that won't work. Sarah's lost in thought. Strange, doesn't it? Doesn't look like much of a church. At a glance, you'd think it was a noble estate. It does. Spent so long there, it never occurred to me. I was pretty surprised when I saw it myself. Peculiar place, all told. Chapel inside the mansion, the gorgeous stained glass window. It's quite the sight. Do you know it was built like that? I'm not exactly sure myself, no. Anyway, I'll show you the chapel. The Saintress should be there so I can introduce you. Saintess. Never heard of her. Everyone around here knows her. She's a nun at the church, calls her the Saintess. Practically her own religious figure. Oh, he's not talking about Morgana. Just have to see for yourself. Come on. Went to the mansion past the courtyard. When I lived here, the area was overgrown with weeds. Apparently they keep in better conditions there. Following the lead, we entered the chapel. Oh my. Almost at a loss of words when I see what lies on the other side of those 2 familiar doors. Very recognizable as a place of worship in my memory. It's 2 columns, battered pews, and some piles of rubble. The room I'm looking at is unequivocally a chapel. So that's what it used to look like. How far back this is from when we lived. Has been more than a decade or 2, maybe 100 years or more. Views and beliefs of the world prevalent in our times are so different. Not so different from those here. The chapel was destroyed in the aftermath of the Harvest Festival. When I was first sent to the mansion, there were signs that repairs had been attempted. Stained glass windows behind the pulpit. I'm guessing we can see it from here. Dorothy Observation Tower. She is. No priest here, she runs the church. Talk to her if you're planning to participate. Go fetch her. Return with a nun. Good afternoon. You came to see the festival, I hear. Which one will have you? Is that who I think it is? All certain at this point that all the major players from behind the 3 doors are present here. Not just 3 men whose shadows remain in the mansion, but also the women who are important lives in their lives. Though just differently, the way she speaks and the way she holds herself resembles a woman killed by her lover behind the 2nd door. We're all connected. What we thought were 3 separate tales, all stretched back to a single point in our time. Something to matter. Burb. Jesus. Jesus. Alright, I guess I'll stop the stream here, but keep playing, I guess. Uh,